All the way back on February 17th, the 2023 Bethune-Cookman baseball season began with a 5-3 loss to the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh. 59 games later, the Diamond Cats stand on the precipice of their first ever Southwestern Athletic Conference title since moving from the MEAC in 2022 and first trophy overall since 2017. Standing in their way is the old enemy, the school on the highest of 7 hills, the Florida A&M Rattlers, who just like the Wildcats have made a remarkable run to the title game this week. Live from McNeese Baseball Park at Rush Chandler Stadium in Midtown Atlanta, this afternoon's presentation of BCU Athletics on the Cat Eye Network is on the air. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Cirillo. Happy to have your company. Bryce Wojnowski will join me later on the broadcast as well. Bethune-Cookman came into this week's SWAC baseball tournament as the 2 seed in the East after finishing the regular season with a conference record of 20-9. However, all was not smooth sailing for the Wildcats as they dropped their opening contest to Southern 4-2 on Wednesday in a game where the offense failed to find its footing. Afterwards, head coach Jonathan Hernandez challenged his team to be patient at the plate, saying, quote, "Your season is in your hands. Do you want to go home or not?" BCU took those words to heart on Thursday, jumping out to an 8-3 lead against Jackson State before having to rally with 3 runs in the ninth to win, including a walk-off winner. It was a doubleheader on Friday, starting with a rematch against Southern. After falling behind early, the Cats scored 10 runs over the final 3 innings to stay alive. The second game on Friday was against Grambling State, the 1 seed out of the West with the best conference record of any team at the tournament. An early Tigers home run didn't bother Cookman as they pounced on the bullpen for a 7-3 win and forced a winner-take-all semifinal with the Tigers on Saturday. Then, with their season on the line for the 4th straight game, the Wildcats left no doubt, plating 14 runs in the first 4 innings to bounce Grambling in run rule fashion 14-4. I talked to head coach Jonathan Hernandez to get his thoughts on the tournament so far and the finals matchup with FAMU. I'm here with head coach Jonathan Hernandez before Bethune-Cookman takes on Florida A&M for the SWAC title game here in 2023. Coach, a lot of adversity this week, 4 straight elimination games. Just talk about the general overview of how the vibe has been amongst the team.
It's been good so far. You know, I think the resiliency of the group, like you mentioned earlier, the tough-minded guys that we have in the dugout, they just did not want to have their season end. You know, and I think going into tomorrow, it's a SWAC championship game, but it's also an elimination game. So I think that's the mindset. All hands on deck for tomorrow to propel us to a win against FAMU tomorrow.
Nolan Santos starts tomorrow. He obviously didn't have his best start on Wednesday in the loss to Southern. Still only gave up 3, but was a little shaky in the middle innings. What do you say to him to try and get him back to where his usual self is?
I wouldn't say it was a bad outing. I think now to the standard of his outings, what they've been consistently all year, you can say it was maybe, average at best, but he still struck out 7, took us late into the ball game. If you think about that outing, it was just one bad play by a third baseman. We made a key error with 1 out in the 8th inning that opened up the door for Southern. So, tomorrow, Nolan's been our guy. He's our Friday night guy for a reason. He's done what he needs to do. His success is there, second in the country in punch-outs. Just like we've told Santiago, Lewis, Gamboa, and all the guys that have started for us in Gavidia, just give us opportunity for outs, and that's all we can ask for.
I want to take you back to a moment of the Jackson State game on Thursday. You were up by 8. They came back and tied the game. They came back and took the lead going into the 9th inning. What was the catalyst for you guys to get that done in walk-off fashion and keep going?
Calm, cool, collective. I think that's been the biggest message so far, to the team and to the coaches. No matter what happens, we can't hit the panic button. At some point, you just got to keep grinding out, and that's going to help our guys in life in the long run. When things aren't going your way, you just can't coddle off in a corner. You just have to grab the bull by the horns and continue to rise up to those challenges when those challenges present themselves. And the guys so far has done a phenomenal job doing that, leading us to an opportunity for our SWAC championship tomorrow.
There have been so many memorable moments throughout the run this week. Give me a couple that stand out to you as either key turning points or big moments.
The walk-off, against Jackson State, for sure. But I think the biggest thing is just watching on my side of the dugout the immense joy that the guys are having playing the game and how fun they're having in the dugout. I think nobody in the SWAC baseball community or in the SWAC conference community expected us to get to this point, to play for a SWAC championship, and the guys understand that, and that's something we talk about. You know, it's us against everybody, and that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, but just the smiles, the cheers, the guys not wavering to not lose or not end their season, and doing anything possible to just continue to play one more game and one more game and one more game. And we're at the final, but we have an opportunity to finish on Championship Sunday.
Tomorrow is the opportunity for the first championship since 2017 for Bethune-Cookman. That team was legendary, went all the way to a regional final, took Florida all the way. What would it mean to you to bring this university another championship on the diamond?
I think it started with the vision of, you know, me getting hired in the fall of 2018. You know, I knew about the success and the tradition at Bethune-Cookman University, especially with the baseball program by, you know, Coach Mervel Melendez, who's a BCU Hall of Famer, followed by Coach Jason Beverlin, who did a phenomenal job at his run as Bethune. And I think for me, it's just my responsibility is to build on that tradition at Bethune-Cookman. So what it'll mean, I mean, obviously it'd be a good one, right? It'd be the first one. You know, etched our name together in history in Bethune-Cookman Athletics to bring the first SWAC championship back to the 386 where it belongs. But, you know, it comes down to the hard work of the players, our assistant coaches, you know, Coach Carballo, Coach Sanchez, and Coach Brown. You know, the work that they've done throughout the course of the year to stay consistent, to help our guys develop and get to a point where we're at today. Yes, I'm the face of the program, but the work behind the scenes with our assistant coaches and the players. And I'm grateful to each and every one that's been a part of this program so far in this run.
Last question, Coach. For you personally, this would be your first D1 conference title as well. What would this mean to you going forward as a career goal and as a trajectory jumping off point for the rest of your career?
I think that this run will set the standard for the rest of my tenure here at Bethune. You know, I think that we've shown the ability to hang with the better programs here in the SWAC, not only in the East Division, but the perennial SWAC blue bloods, how they call them, you know, knocking off Jackson, Southern, and Grambling State today. But yeah, that's something that I've looked forward to. I've had that vision in sight, and despite all the adversities that our university and our baseball program has gone through with the pandemic, opting out in 21, and this is really year 2 post-COVID with that return. It'll mean the world, you know, to bring that championship back to Daytona Beach where it belongs.
Hopefully the next time we talk, you'll have a trophy with you. Good luck tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hail Wildcats.
With Nolan Santos and Daniel Gaviri at the top of the rotation and the SWAC's best fielding percentage at .968, pitching and defense have mostly paved the way for Bethune-Cookman's success. However, the Wildcats have discovered an extra gear at the plate in the tournament. BCU has plated 45 runs over 5 games here in Atlanta and have scored double digits 3 times. Irvin Escobar has blown everybody away with a .563 average, 4 runs on 9 hits, 3 doubles and 7 runs batted in. Robert Moya and Jeremy Garcia are also batting over 400 with .471 and .412 respectively. And Colton Olison and Highland Hall are top 2 in RBIs with 9 and 8. Everyone else has contributed to the plate as well, with all 9 primary starters having at least 3 runs scored and an RBI. I talked to hitting coach, BCU alum Jose Carballo, to find out the secrets behind the Wildcats' newfound offensive prowess. I'm here with BCU alum and assistant coach Jose Carballo before the Wildcats take on Florida A&M for the SWAC title here on Sunday. Coach, the first game, offense came out flat, only put up 2 runs. What did you say to the guys to try and get them to turn it around? And we have seen it turn around in a big way.
Well, honestly, you know, it's about being consistent. You know, we've been in tough spots all year long, and it's not deviating from the plan. Sometimes the plan doesn't get executed, but that doesn't mean that the goal changes. The goal is still the same. We just make adjustments, and the guys did a great job doing that.
Y'all have scored 45 runs this week, the most over a tournament stretch for BCU since, I think, 2009, when they scored like 39 runs in 3 games. What has been different about seeing the SWAC pitching this time around as opposed to in the regular season?
I think it goes a lot into mindset and preparation. You know, when we're in the cage, we're really preaching approach. and trying to have that same mindset going into the game. And it's a tough adjustment. It's a tough challenge doing that, with what's at stake and what we're trying to do. But at the same time, these guys have done a tremendous job of that, keeping their emotions under control and trying to stay with the plan and what has been said before.
Talk about approach real quick. We lamented for most of the season about swinging at the first pitch, giving pitchers easy innings, extending pitchers in deep into games when you know that you can kind of pounce on bullpen guys if you get there. What has changed this week to allow you to kind of force starters out and feast on bullpens?
Just getting them, having conversations with them. I think it goes a long way trying to get them to understand why we're doing things instead of just telling them to do them. I think the players deserve the reasons behind why we make decisions and the why we want to tap into other teams' bullpens and stuff like that. So they've done a great job understanding and trusting in our plan, and it definitely has shown.
One last one for you. You're a BCU alum. Cookman hasn't won a baseball title since 2017, haven't won one in the SWAC since moving over. What would a win tomorrow mean to you?
It honestly is going to mean a lot. I think, I have my a few championships as a player. Don't have one as a coach yet, hoping for one tomorrow, but it's going to mean a lot, man. This program, it's definitely moving in the right direction. Coach Hernandez has definitely raised the bar, and we're not done yet. Year after year, the mentality of the coaching staff is to raise the bar every year. No matter what, no matter who comes in, who goes out, the program needs to get better, and it's getting better, and we're not stopping now.
Thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
While the beginning of the season saw multiple lineup and rotation changes, Bethune-Cookman's starting roster has remained mostly consistent over the past month or so. However, with the avalanche of games this week, the Cats have had to rely on some big-time performances from some unsung heroes. Luis Liptrat went from last season's Friday night starter and 2023 SWAC preseason pitcher of the year to dropping out of the weekend rotation and making limited appearances on weekdays and out of the bullpen. He was given the ball for the first game against Grambling State and tossed 6 innings, giving up 3 runs and striking out 5. The win in that game went to Darius York, who pitched the final 3 innings and only gave up 1 hit. Both players reduced their total ERAs by multiple points with their tournament performances. Malik Stevens, the Wildcats' leadoff man and center fielder a season ago, has been key for BCU off the bench as a pinch runner, scoring 3 runs in 3 appearances and collecting a hit in the semifinals against Grambling. I spoke to second baseman Colton Olison to find out more. I'm here with Colton Olison before the Wildcats face Florida A&M for the SWAC title here in 2023. Colton, it's been kind of a miracle one for you guys after your loss on Wednesday to Southern. What changed after that loss to kind of flip the switch and have you guys go on this run?
I think losing that first game was kind of a slap in the face for us. And it was a wake-up call. We thought, not that it was going to be easy, but we took it for granted that we were here, and we knew we were supposed to be here, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to take to make it through this tournament. So after that first loss, it really made us flip the switch, and we had to change our perspective on everything and how we were playing because one more loss and we were out. So we had to do what we had to do to get to where we're at today.
4 straight elimination games. It'll make it 5 tomorrow. Talk about the mental toughness of your team and the guys and how they've been kind of handling it behind the scenes.
It's been a lot. I think this will be our 6th game, and all the other teams had 4 or 5. But us as a team, as a whole, we just like to keep faith in every one of us. It's been a tough road, like I said. We're rough on the bodies. Physically, mentally, we've been challenged all week, and I think just being together is helping us get through that. So as long as we're together and we stay sharp and we have a clear mind, we're going to be all right.
We've had some standout performances this week from guys that maybe you wouldn't expect. I'm talking about a Luis Liptrat or Yoancel Diaz coming in yesterday and today, giving you big innings. Best getting a couple big strikeouts today. Talk about the guys that maybe we haven't seen a lot of this year stepping up in big situations.
Those guys are coming up huge this week, and they're going to keep doing so. We've had faith in them all year, struggles, all the ups and downs they've gone through this year, and they've just kept fighting and kept pushing and never lost faith. Like I said earlier, the faith is what keeps us rolling. We know we're talented, and as a group that we have all the tools, but trusting in it when it's not working and when it's not at its best is the biggest thing. And I think for the guys that have been struggling, like I said, this year and has really came through this week, faith is what's gotten them through it, and they really came up huge helping us this week, and I can't be more proud of those guys.
One last question for you. There's not an official captaincy on this team, but everybody I've talked to, and I've asked this, has mentioned you as kind of the in-house clubhouse leader. What do you say when, somebody comes up to you and says, you're our leader?
It's an honor. I've been here. This is my 4th year here, and I think just getting to this point where I'm at now and getting to a spot that I can do my very best for this team and lead this team is like I said, it's an honor. I can't be more happy. I can't be more thankful, and I can't ask for a better group of guys to lead and be with every single day, because I love these guys to death, and I tell them every single day I'll go to war for them and I'll die for them. So it's an honor. I'm blessed every single day to be with these guys and be their leader. So
Thank you, Colton. Good luck tomorrow.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Go Wildcats.
Bethune-Cookman are not the only team with gold on the mind today. The Florida A&M Rattlers have also made it to the finals and have looked just as impressive as the Wildcats in getting there. After run-ruling Texas Southern on day 1, they were dropped to the lower bracket by tournament favorites Alabama State. The Rattlers made it 2 out of 2 against teams from the state of Texas by knocking out Prairie View A&M in a 1-0 contest to set up a rematch with the Hornets. FAMU's bats got hot in the nick of time as they won back-to-back games against the number 1 seed out of the East, 8-6 on Friday and 8-4 on Saturday to make the championship round. The Rattlers are led offensively by Will Brown, who's averaging an even .500 for the tournament with 4 runs on 7 hits and 3 RBI. Jared Weber is not far behind with a .435 average, 6 runs on 10 hits, a home run, and 5 RBI. Florida A&M's starting pitcher today will be their ace, Hunter Viets. The senior right-hander from Pensacola boasts a .285 ERA and a 7-2 record on the season. His only outing in this tournament was on opening day versus Texas Southern, where he tossed a 7-inning complete game, giving up no runs on 5 hits, walking 0, and striking out 5. The 2 newest teams in the Southwestern Athletic Conference have upset the apple cart, sent home the Blue Bloods, and are ready to carve a new chapter in SWAC baseball history. Like the proverbial unstoppable force and immovable object, the Wildcats and the Rattlers are peaking at the right time and are ready to put on a show with a trophy on the line. The Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship game is coming up soon on Cat Network Radio and 1380 WELE, The Cat. At this time, I want to bring in my co-commentator and SID extraordinaire, Bryce Hoynoski. Bryce, it's all on the line today. One game for all the marbles between 2 hated rivals on a beautiful sunny day in Atlanta. What more could you want?
Mike, it's been an incredible week. It's been an unbelievable week. I know I've used that word a lot here on the air, but some of the things we've seen transpire over the last couple of days have just been something short out of a movie. We've talked to Coach Hernandez all week long, and he's kind of preached the same message of, we're playing with house money. We're just kind of happy to be here at this point. We've done our job. He's been so cool, calm, and collected. We know the guys. We've seen how loose they've been all week. We've seen how much the attitude has changed after the game 1 loss to Southern. As much as we'd like to preach that, we're playing with house money, we've gotten this far. They can smell it. Jonathan Hernandez can smell it. The guys can smell it. It's right there. The championship is right there. And like you said, it's going to be an absolute battle today. FAMU has given it all they've got. It's just been the same heroics on that side of the field. These 2 teams evenly matched, aces on the mound, all hands on deck today. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a great one.
Here are your starting lineups. First for Florida A&M, they are the visiting team today wearing white hats as we pause for the national anthem. Here are your starting lineups for this afternoon's contest. First for Florida A&M, they are the visiting team. White hats with orange bills, green jerseys, white pants, orange numbers, white trim. Leading off playing center field is Ty Jackson. Catching and batting second is Ty Hanchey. Batting third and playing left field, Jared Weber. Batting fourth at first base, Sebastian Greco. Batting fifth in right field, Jan-Mikel Bastardo. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Joseph Pierini. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Will Brown. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Adam Hayter-Mota. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Jalen Niles. When the Rattlers take the field in the bottom of the first, their starting pitcher is the senior Hunter Viets. And for Bethune-Cookman, well, if you've been following the broadcast this week, you can probably guess who the names on the roster are. Leading off at third base, it's Luis Tuero. Batting second in center field, Garrett Shun. Batting third in right field, Highland Hall. In left field, batting fourth, it's Boris Pena. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Robert Moya. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Manny Suframe. Batting seventh, the catcher, Irvin Escobar. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Colton Olison. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Jeremy Garcia. And on the mound for Bethune-Cookman, it's the junior, Nolan Santos. We welcome those of you now listening to us on 1380 WELE The Cat. If you would like to go back and listen to our pregame show featuring interviews from head coach head coach Hernandez, assistant coach Carballo, and second baseman Colton Olison, you can do so by going to youtube.com/Cat Eye Network. The Wildcats in their maroon hats, maroon jerseys, script Wildcats across the front in gold. Gold numbers, white trim, white pants with a maroon stripe and maroon belts have taken the field for warm-ups. It's going to be a 9-inning battle. We have no idea, Bryce, what this game is going to look like. It could be an offensive slugfest with both teams hitting the ball. It could be a pitcher's duel with Viets and Santos going at it. We've seen that before this season. Settle in. It's going to be an incredible game.
We'd rather have it no other way. The two new fresh meat in the Southwestern Athletic Conference have battled their way all the way here. Ace is on the mound. I think we're going to know very quickly in this game what we're going to see, what we should expect from Santos, and then again for Viets in the bottom half of the inning. It's going to take everyone. It has all week. We've seen, like we said in the pregame, a lot of unheralded guys really step up, save some arms, do their part. Even a guy like Gerald Best yesterday didn't maybe think he'd see time in this series, in the playoffs, in the postseason. Came in, was able to give a strong inning, was able to pitch into that seventh inning, that final seventh inning. Gave the Wildcats a chance to save some arms. They're about as fresh as you can expect for a tournament finale game, but it's going to take a little bit from everybody to get this one done and take that championship home.
Both of these teams have played the maximum amount of games. This is the 6th game in 5 days for both teams, both running on fumes, everybody. I mean, I was around a couple of the guys at breakfast this morning. They were upbeat, they were energetic, they were loose, but you could tell everybody's tired. Everybody's been a week away from their own beds. I mean, we have as well on the media team. But, man, you would rather stay the whole week, fight for a championship, than go home on day 2. We were so close to going home on day 2. We had a rally in the 9th to beat Jackson State. We could have been home on Thursday night, but we are still here on Sunday and ready to fight for a title. Ty Jackson, the center fielder for Florida A&M, walks to the plate. He steps into the right-handed batter's box, and with the wind lazily drifting from left to right across the Atlanta skyline, just a wispy couple of clouds, Nolan Santos winds and fires, and it's hit in the air to center field. Garrett Shun going back at the track, at the wall. It's off the wall and over his head. Jackson rounding second. He's going to fly to third. It's a stand-up triple. Actually, it's a sliding triple as the ball came in for Ty Jackson on the first pitch of the game, and it's a fast start for the Rattlers of Florida A&M.
Don't panic quite yet, Wildcats fans. The only game the Wildcats led first in was, of course, the loss to Southern when we first started this tournament. If anyone is going to avoid a leadoff triple, it's the guy with the most strikeouts in the Southwestern Athletic Conference and the second most in all of college baseball.
Here's Ty Hanchey, the catcher. Left-hand hitter. First pitch to him, fastball outside and high. Both of these teams are swinging really hot bats. Wildcats have put 21 runs across the plate in the last 2 games. FAMU with 16. Hit high in the air to right field and deep from Hanchy. Back at the track, at the wall, it's foul.
That hard contact is definitely something to be a little wary of early in this game. Santos just missing his spots a little bit, hanging out over the plate. We'll see what kind of hook it would take. Obviously nowhere near at this moment, but what kind of hook it would take to go to the many, many guys who will be available out of the bullpen today.
Santos on the season, 15 appearances with 15 starts. He's 7-4 with a 3.35 ERA. In 91 of the third innings pitch, he's given up 45 runs on 72 hits, striking out 131 and walking 35. The 1-1 breaking ball misses upstairs, 2-1. That 131 strikeouts, second in the nation, behind only LSU's starter. The 2-1 to Hanchy. Check swing, strike at the knees, 2-2.
We didn't see the same kind of consistent strikeouts in his first start this week against Southern. Just couldn't really find that put-away pitch. Every time he got ahead, kind of started to nibble a little bit at the corners. Cost him a little bit.
Pressure affects everyone. Here's the 2-2 with a runner on third and nobody out in the first. Breaking ball outside, 3-2.
I think Santos thinks he should have gotten that pitch. That we saw the breaking ball was probably Santos' best pitch in his first game this week. Normally is so fastball heavy. We'll see what he goes to today.
The junior from Miami Beach stares down Jackson on third and fires. Fastball over the heart of the plate, fouled away. 3-2, will do it again. Crowd here mostly wearing green and orange. There's a couple of fans wearing maroon and gold strewn about Rush Chandler Stadium. Once again, the 3-2. Hit sharply down the right field line. That's a fair ball. That's going to go to the corner. Jackson walks home. Rounding second is Hanchy. He will hold there. It's 2 straight extra base hits for the Rattlers, and it's 1-0 Florida A&M.
We see that Rattlers dugout fired up. Momentum is going to be a big deal in this game. Both teams have seen just some, whether it's comebacks, high-scoring affairs, what have you. Both dugouts were pretty loose coming into this game. We'll see who's the first to tighten up.
Here's the top hitter in the tournament for Florida A&M, Jared Weber, the left fielder, batting an even .500 over the past 5 games. With Hanchy on second, nobody out, and a run already in at the top of the first. He squares to bunt. He pops it up down the third baseline. Charging is Tuero. He has no play at first, and everybody's safe.
I'm not sure what caused Tuero not to try to make that throw over to first. I think he would have had the runner, but double pumped and then looked back the runner at third. I don't know if he was trying to avoid the runner getting to third, but probably should have taken the out there.
Here's Sebastian Greco now, the first baseman. Runners on the corners, still nobody out in the inning. This is potentially worst case scenario stuff here in the early going for the Wildcats. Greco, a .291 hitter on the season, 39 runs on 44 hits. 14 homers, that leads the team, and 61 RBIs. One of only 2 FAMU Rattlers with over 10 homers. The other one is standing on deck in Jan-Mikel Bastardo. The 1-0, hit in the air to right field foul. The only strikes that Santos have got have been foul balls, except for the one take down the middle by Hanchy before he ripped the double to right.
They're just seeing the ball really well right now.
Santos is 1-1. Chop towards first over the head of Soufrain and into right field. 1 run's going to score. Weber's going to try and get to third. He will. 4 straight hits to open the game for FAMU, and it's 2-0 Rattlers.
Well, I said before the game started, we're going to see pretty early what kind of Nolan Santos maybe we should expect out of this game. Here comes pitching coach Joel Sanchez to have a chat with him. Unclear if it's fatigue. He's not really showing any signs necessarily on the mound of kind of being worn out. I think he's just missing spots, maybe trying to do too much, maybe the adrenaline of the moment. He's got to settle down very quickly.
As he talks to the coach, we'll tell you about Nike, the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Well, this is a situation that the Wildcats have been in a lot this week. Gave up 2 in the first against Grambling on both games against them. Gave up 1 in the first to Southern in the second matchup. And gave up 3 in the first to Jackson State. So not a situation that the Wildcats are unfamiliar with, but they have not looked close to getting an out yet.
As we look down at the bullpen, couple of arms as we probably expected. Daniel Gaviria and Marcos Gamboa both trotted down there. No one's throwing just yet. They're ready for everything.
Here is Jan-Mikel Bastardo. Highest average on the season for the Rattlers with 379. 49 runs on 61 hits, 11 homers, and 47 RBIs. Runners on the corners, still nobody out here in the first 2 runs across for FAMU. Righty to righty, here's the pitch. Fastball strike, outside corner. And once again, Bryce, it's going to have to be on the offense to pick up the pitching a little bit.
Bats are probably itching to get out there, even this one up.
0-1, breaking ball fanned and missed. 0-2. That was an excuse me swing from Bastardo.
Now with Santos up in the count, he's got to make sure not to leave anything out over the zone.
The 0-2, breaking ball chopped toward third. It's over the head of Tuero and into left field. Weber scores 5 straight hits for FAMU, 3-0.
It's just a tough break, back-to-back bouncing balls just over the head of these infielders. FAMU getting the benefit of the nice bounce early. We've seen the Wildcats get those kind of bounces all week. Again, it's not too much to get disheartened at yet. The Wildcats have been down all week, and they've shown they can do it.
Here's Joseph Pierini, 301 hitter, 41 runs on 49 hits, 6 homers, 44 RBIs. Had a big home run yesterday against Alabama State. The FAMU crowd feeling it right now. First pitch to Pierini, strike at the knees. It may just need 1 strikeout for Santos to get his mojo back and get going, but we have not seen these FAMU hitters be fooled by anything. This is the 3rd time that this FAMU team has seen Santos this year. The 0-1, breaking ball. Did he go? Yes. And it's 0-2.
It's tough with Gaviria warming up right now. Pitch to contact guy with how well the Rattlers are seeing the ball. Might get worse before it gets better.
Still no outs in the inning. 2 on, 3 in for the Rattlers. Santos from the stretch. Upstairs, missed his spot 1 and 2. Nolan deals. Breaking ball, strike 3 called on the outside corner, and Pierini sits down finally after 5 straight base hits and 3 runs, 1 away in the inning.
And that's a strike call that Santos hasn't gotten thus far this inning from the home plate official. The very edge of the outer half of the plate. We'll see if this is enough to get him fired up.
Here's Will Brown, a 269 hitter. 30 runs on 32 hits, 1 homer, 19 RBIs. Brown playing for his hometown team, originally from Tallahassee. The sophomore stands in. The first pitch from Santos is bounced to the plate. Escobar corrals it, 1-0. Gaviria is warming up in the left-hand bullpen down the line. Here's the pitch. There's a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. If that fastball starts to work, I think Santos might be okay.
That's the one thing he was kind of missing from his game way back against Southern. Kept going to that breaking ball, but that fastball has always been his most plus pitch.
The 1-1. Check swing and a miss, 1-2. Greco leads off of second, Bastardo at first. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. It was a garbage pitch outside and low, and down goes Brown, 2 away.
Yeah, Will Brown right there. Never really looked competitive in that bat. The bottom half of this Rattlers order has not been nearly as confident even at the plate as the top 4 or 5 guys have been. It's up to Nolan Santos to get out of this inning and get some of that swagger back when he comes out next time.
Here is Adam Hader-Moda, a .311 hitter. Has 1 home run this week already. 1 of his 2 on the season. Breaking pitch, caught the outside corner, strike 1. Other stats on Hader-Moda is a .311 hitter, 16 runs on 38 hits, 2 homers, 28 RBIs. Santos, usually a very pacey pitcher, is very patient and deliberate here in this first inning. Another garbage pitch in the opposite batter's box. Swung at by Hader-Moda, 0-2.
That's exactly what Santos needed. Not exactly throwing the best pitches, pitch to pitch. That breaking ball has not really been, especially on the outside edge, not really been hitting the plate. And primarily low, almost in the dirt. But the Rattlers keep offering, so he's going to keep throwing it.
Santos finally comes set. The 0-2. Upstairs, try to get him to cut on the high fastball, 1-2.
Not a bad pitch, and that's not a bad location. If he continues to pump that one in there with 2 strikes, he'll get some swings and misses over the course of this game.
1-2, 2 out. 2 on, 3 in already for FAMU here at the top of the first. Santos comes set, kicks and fires. Hit in the air to right field off the inside of the bat. Hall chasing it towards the line, makes the catch. Highland Hall full stretch. He actually goes over the bullpen wall as his momentum takes him there, but FAMU strikes first. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first. FAMU 3, Wildcats coming to bat. You're listening to BCU Baseball here on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the bottom of the first. The Wildcats down 3-0 after a rough first inning from Nolan Santos. He did recover and strike out 2 of the last 3. And now the Wildcats have to stare down Hunter Viets, the native of Pensacola. His ERA 2.39, he's 6-1. 11 starts and 11 appearances, 1 complete game. First batter to face him is Luis Tuero. First pitch right at a lefty. Strike outside and low, 0-1. Rest of Viets' numbers, he's given up 21 runs on 57 hits, striking out 61 and walking just 11. There's another strike in the exact same spot outside and low. Tuero doesn't offer 0-2.
2 meetings against the Wildcats this year. Viets allowed 3 earned runs and 6 runs.
Breaking ball inside, misses, 1-2.
I don't think this team is fazed by just about anybody at this point, the way they've swung the bat.
It will be important to chase Viets because unlike the Wildcats, we don't know who Florida A&M has out of the bullpen. Tuero swings and fouls one off to the left. Count holds 1-2. Luis Tuero batting .327 on the year, 40 runs on 65 hits, no homers, 24 RBIs. The 1-2, fouled in the exact same spot off to the left near the Champions Hall building where our hospitality suite is housed. Tuero trying to battle back in this AB. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball misses low, 2-2. FAMU's crowd behind the plate wanted that to be strike three, but nothing forthcoming from home plate umpire Chris Booker. Rest of the umpiring crew today: at first base, Kevin Bradley; at second base, Joseph Smith. Here's the pitch. Tuero fouls it off to the left again, and it's 2-2. And at third base, Patrick Graham. There are also two outfield umpires today. Out in left field, Derek Everett, and on the right field line, Calvin Hill. The 2-2. Tuero chops one towards first. Backhanded by Greco. Will take it himself. One away.
Of course, not the outcome the Wildcats want from that at bat, but still good 6-7 pitch at bat. Continuing to push your way towards that Rattler bullpen no matter what. That's going to be the key. We've said it all week. These games aren't really going to be decided until those final couple of innings when you're really stretched thin in that bullpen.
8 pitch at bat for Viets. Here's Garrett Chun, who has been kind of quiet at the plate this week for the Wildcats. Takes a strike down the middle, 0-1. On the season, Chun a .301 hitter, 50 runs on 58 hits, no homers, 19 RBI. The 0-1 from Viets. Liner right back up the middle. That's going to drop in for a base hit in front of Jackson, and the Wildcats have a base runner aboard with one gone.
For momentum-wise, it's good to see the Wildcats get that early runner on, get the dugout kind of back into everything after some slump shoulders maybe. Garrett Chun, a guy who hasn't seen a ton of success at the plate this week, trying to get everybody going early.
Here's Highland Hall, one of two selections that we think may get on the all-tournament team for Bethune-Cookman, him along with Irvin Escobar. With Chun on first and one out here in the bottom of the first. Viets deals. Hall swings at the first pitch, chops it straight back, 0-1. And now all 3 of Viets' at-bats so far have began in a pitcher's count.
Wildcats want to avoid that the deeper we get into this game, but if you can work your way back in, working that pitch count, getting base hits is all the same. Doesn't matter how it starts.
And hold on, we may have some issues here as the catcher, Ty Hanshy, is getting a different chest protector from the dugout. I'm not sure.
Looks like the strap on the back may have popped loose, maybe broken off. It's been a long week.
Yeah, I saw for Florida A&M, their head coach come out of the dugout, Shoop. And I thought, there's no way anything's wrong with Viets, but we play on. The 0-1 count to Hall. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper towards third. This could be 2. Snapped by Hader Moda. On to second for 1. On to first. Double play. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, none left. We go to the second inning of play. 3-0 Florida A&M here on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the top of the second here at Russ Chandler Stadium in beautiful Midtown Atlanta. The Florida A&M Rattlers have a 3-0 lead over the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats in the SWAC championship game for baseball. The last championship in the SWAC to be handed out this year. It's the 9-hole hitter Jalen Niles to lead off against Nolan Santos. Breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, strike one. Santos started very, very wobbly in the first inning, giving up 5 straight hits and 3 runs, but then struck out 2 and got Hayter Motor to pop up and got 3 straight outs. Breaking ball strike inside corner 0-2.
Back-to-back breaking balls to start out this at-bat. Not sure Santos has the traditional trust in his fastball we've seen from him all season.
0-2. Fastball upstairs. Did it get him on the head? We don't know. And is the umpire going to warn? I think the umpire just warned Nolan Santos. As Hernandez comes out to pick up the ball that rolled to the backstop. It did not get Niles in the head, but it was close. The count now 1-2. Santos comes right back with a breaking ball, and Niles fouls it straight back.
Not sure the official warned Santos there. I think it was kind of just making sure that everybody knew that it wasn't intentional. I think we may have seen some more gripe from Coach Hernandez if it was a true warning.
Once again, the 1-2. Breaking ball outside, swing and a miss. And down goes Niles.
It's really lucky right there from Santos that wasn't a hit by pitch. I initially thought that we did hear it kind of clang off the helmet, but credit to him for finishing that at bat and not making it matter.
Back to the top of the order. Here's Ty Jackson, tripled and scored to lead off the first. First pitch to him. Breaking ball strike, a slider away. And this is where we're really going to see if Santos is okay. Because if he can get through these first 4 or 5 hitters as a swing and a miss and a ball in the dirt 0-2 and not give up some hard contact like he did in the first inning, we'll see that he is kind of settled in and maybe it was just a rocky start.
Especially with top of the order coming up now.
Quickly ahead 0-2, here's the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Another slider that caught the outside corner, and down goes Jackson.
We've seen only 1 fastball this inning from Santos. He's been a guy that's gone at guys all year with the heater. Not sure if it's a fatigue thing or maybe just because the breaking ball's been working, but we'll see what he starts it off here. I'm guessing we see another breaking ball.
Here's Ty Hanshee. First pitch to the lefty is a fastball. Right back to Santos, who gloves it and underhands to first. 1, 2, 3 go the Rattlers. That's much better from the Santos from the Wildcats defense. We go to the bottom of the second. Wildcats looking for some runs, down 3-0 here in the SWAC championship game on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the bottom of the second. Wildcats in a 3-0 hole behind FAMU here in the SWAC championship. Boris Pena looking to start things off right for the Wildcats. Pena, 303 hitter, 38 runs on 59 hits, 4 homers, 39 RBIs. And the righty Hunter Veets deals. Low and away, ball 1.
A big inning offensively for the Wildcats. Defensively, you saw the tide kind of shift a little bit back into the hands of Nolan Santos. Let's see if the bats can do the same.
Big cut and miss on a pitch that was low and away from Pena, and it's 1-1. Veets has gone to the same pitch a couple of times back-to-back in multiple ABs so far. He goes to the low outside fastball again, misses the zone 2-1. Veets got through the first inning in just 12 pitches after spending 8 on Luis Tuero. The 2-1. And it's hammered to left field. That's a base hit right between the shortstop and third baseman. And Boris Pena is aboard, leadoff man style.
It's a credit to the patience of Boris Pena. Watch those 3 pitches, forced Veets to have to go somewhere else. Ended up rifling that one through the left side. Wildcats have feasted on leadoff base runners ever since that Southern game. It's been a huge part of their offensive strategy.
Here's Robert Moya batting .471 for the tournament. 9 runs on 8 hits, a double, a triple, and 3 RBIs for him. That's just this week, by the way. Here's the first pitch to him. Breaking ball right down the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Breaking ball's a little dangerous. Starts out just above the zone, but if it goes a little too low, Moya's the guy who's going to absolutely hammer it with that uppercut swing.
Leads the Wildcats at home runs on the year. Chops it straight back to Veets. This could be 2. On to second for 1. Back to first. It's another double play.
That is killer. Can't let Veets escape after that first AB. Wildcats are going to have to stop putting the ball on the ground. This is another solid defensive team.
2 double plays by the FAMU infield to erase early base runners in the first 2 innings. Now 2 away. Here's Manny Sufrain. First pitch to him. Swing and a high fly ball to right field and deep. Going back, Bastardo. He's at the track. He's at the wall. Adios, amigos. Manny Sufrain, he's been hunting that 350 mark in right center all weekend long, and he finally puts one in the trees.
Yeah, we've seen that same swing from Sufrain, a kind of golf-style swing, hunting, like you said, Mike, that same pitch all week long. He hasn't been able to put it together. Unfortunately, he's had some situations where he's had to be the man to bunt a lot of times this week, but he finally saw a pitch he could hammer out there, and he did just that.
Hopefully that maybe gets the Wildcats offense going. Here is Irvin Escobar. I read you his numbers in the pregame show, but for those of you who just joined us, he is batting .563 with a .750 slugging percentage this week. First pitch to him, upstairs 1-0. In 16 at-bats, he scored 4 runs on 9 hits with 3 doubles and 7 RBIs. He's only been struck out once, and that was yesterday, upstairs 2-0. Easily the biggest improvement of batting average from regular season to playoffs of this entire Wildcats roster. The 2-0 inside 3-0. On the whole season, Escobar batting .331, 25 runs on 40 hits, 3 homers, 31 ribbies. The 3-0, Veets catches the inside corner for strike 1. Wildcats on the board in this inning on the Sufrain home run. They trail 3-1. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, 3-2. Surprised Escobar didn't offer it that one. Veets deals. Escobar chops it foul, third base side.
Escobar's a guy who's going to have success even against the top arms in the conference just with his patience alone. He'll lay off some pitches that are really close to the plate. He's got such a great eye, especially for only a sophomore.
Wildcats trying to climb back into this one after a 3 spot at the top of the first from FAMU. Full count with 2 outs to Escobar. Ball 4, just missed inside. The mostly FAMU crowd didn't like it, but it was a very conviction call from Chris Booker. He was certain it was inside, and here's Colton Olison with 2 outs, and 1 on.
Going to be heartened by the number of base runners early in this game for the Wildcats. With everyone that gets on, that confidence builds and builds and builds, and we'll see that free swinging team we've seen all week.
That was only the 12th walk given up by Hunter Viets all season. Huge 12-6 curveball finds the outside corner for a strike to Olison. Colton's been one of the lesser hitters on this Wildcats roster in this week. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. But yesterday he came alive. 3 hits, 2 runs scored, 4 RBIs. The 1-1, big cut and miss as he swung through the changeup. 1-2.
Wilson's a guy they'll need to keep feeling it at the plate. His best offensive season of his career. He's been known to hit in the clutch as well. A couple walk-offs for him this year.
1-2, swing and a miss, and the breaking ball just completely fooled him. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the top of the third. 3-1 Rattlers here on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. To the top of the third we go in the ATL. FAMU with a 3-1 lead here in the SWAC championship game. Nolan Santos, after giving up 5 hits and 3 runs without an out in the top of the first, has sat down 6 straight and appears to be regaining his command. Michael Torillo, Bryce Wojnowski with you as we have been all week. The Wildcats have come from out of nowhere after losing on day 1 to run all the way through the losers bracket to make the finals. Jared Weber comes to the plate. He singled, had an RBI and scored his first time up. He scored the 3rd of the 3 Rattler runs. First pitch from Nolan Santos. Breaking ball, strike outside corner. And now both pitchers know that Chris Booker is going to give them that outside. They're just going to work it all game long. 0-1, fastball, hit in the air to left field. That is gone. That is way gone. Jared Weber just took Nolan Santos deep to left field, and it's 4-1.
Well, everything that's been down in the zone is where the Rattlers have had that success. Middle, little low, fastball sent the other way quickly. Maybe that's why we've seen so much breaking ball early in this game from Santos.
Second home run of the tournament from Jared Weber. Jan-Mikel Bastardo leads the team and everybody, I think, this week with 3 home runs. And now Sebastian Greco at the plate. First pitch away outside, missed with the fastball. 1-0. It's going to be tough sledding here for the Wildcats to just try and keep this game close and get to the bullpen.
It's really what it's going to come down to for both teams. Hard to read too much into these early innings, as we've seen a lot this week.
Fastball hits the outside corner, 2-1. Greco singled in Weber his first time up. It's big cut miss there, and it's 2-2. And was stranded on second. Missed with the slider. Outside, 3-2.
FAMU crowd is very into this ball game. If the Wildcats can do anything to kind of quiet them down, Certainly be helpful. It's the loudest one we've seen this week.
Breaking ball hit right to Manny Soufrain, who makes a catch on the line drive.
We've seen Manny Soufrain be about as rock solid a first baseman as they come all week. Had a couple of star plays yesterday, but just been so good. There's no holes in this infield for the Wildcats.
Here's the big deep fly threat. Jan-Mikel Bastardo singled in the first and was stranded there. First pitch to him. Breaking ball inside 1-0. Bastardo 400 for the tournament. 6 runs on 8 hits, 3 homers and 6 RBI. He doesn't have an extra base hit other than 3 home runs. Fastball inside 2-0.
It's been almost exclusively first pitch breaking balls from Santos. Just really different approach from him today.
Fastball straight down the middle. 2-1.
Usually it's been the fastball sets up the breaking ball, but today it's all been breaking balls setting up the fastball deeper in counts.
Hit, left side, base hit, pass Tuero into left field. That's Joseph Pierini who got a hit. Oh, excuse me, that's Bastardo who got a hit.
Daniel Gaviria will continue to get warm down there. Only issue is Nolan Santos, when he's induced contact, it's all been hard contact and it's all found open grass. Got to let your defense work a little bit. FAMU, credit to them, has found the open field.
Had been really nothing to play for in the infield. The one hit that was right at Luis Tuero, he had no play. Breaking ball strike, first pitch to Pierini, who went down looking his first time up. With run out and a runner on here in the third. One already in on the home run by Weber. Score is 4-1 FAMU. Santos deals, fouled away 0-2. Pierini in the tournament has the lowest batting average of any of the FAMU starters at just .211. 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 double. Struck out 5 times, now 6 times with the 1 today. In the dirt, ball 1. Interesting that your designated hitter is your lowest batting average in the tournament. You know, he does have power. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball just misses outside, 2-2.
We've seen that high fastball be Nolan Santos' go-to strikeout pitch a lot this season, but it's been breaking balls to start and finish most of these at-bats. We've seen that fastball get hammered the other way, so maybe for good reason.
The 2-2. Fouled away, will do it again. Florida A&M on the season, 28-28 and even 500. They were 18-12 in conference in the regular season. 2-2, Pierini grounds it foul into the FAMU dugout to the right side. Got the 3rd seed in the East behind Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. Jackson State was the 4th seed from the East. Santos the 2-2 once again. Breaking ball hit in the air to left field. Moving over Pena, he's at the wall, and it's foul off the dugout wall.
It's a tough play for the first-year left fielder, Boris Pena. We saw him at first base and a little bit behind the plate last year. It's a long run.
Pena listed as a senior. Has that extra year of eligibility. Pierini standing in there. He was down in the count 0-2. He's worked it 2-2 with a couple of foul balls as well. That time he cuts and misses, and a fastball at the knees, and they're 2 away.
Going with the low fastball from Santos that time, down in the bottom of the zone. Still stayed kind of middle over the plate. I think Pierini just missed it.
Here's Will Brown. Struck out swinging his first time up in the first. Jan-Mikel Bastardo still leads off at first with 2 down here in the top of the 3rd. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. Wind just kind of lazily blowing left to right as it has mostly done this week. Pitch in the dirt again. 2-0.
Almost everything's been low in the zone, too. That breaking ball starting out middle of the plate, kind of trying to dip just below it. Fastball 2 has just all been on that bottom half.
FAMU dugout tries to fire up their hitter. The pitch chopped foul outside of third. And it's 2-1. Another play that would have been tough for Tuero if that had stayed fair. He's been kind of victimized by some bad hops. Has have the entire BCU infield. As one went right over Sufrain's head, one went right over Tuero's head. Tuero had a ball chopped to him that was so slow he didn't have a play. Just been unlucky on the defensive side apart from all the hard contact. The 2-1. Just missed it outside and low with the slider. 3-1. Santos has not issued a walk yet. Behind 3-1 in the count. Chopped toward third again, foul. And snagged by the third base coach for Florida A&M. That's Brent Richardson at third base. Todd Alford is the coach at first. Octavian Moyer is the fourth assistant. To head coach Jamie Shoup. Full count to delivery. High in the air to left field, not deep. That's actually going to stay on the infield. Garcia moves over, makes the catch, had to raise his cap against the sun, and that ends the inning. 1 run on the homer by Weber. 2 hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. Wildcats back down by 3, looking for some answers on offense when we come back. This is the SWAC Championship game on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the bottom of the third. Wildcats trailing the Rattlers of Florida A&M 4-1. Here's the 9-hole hitter Jeremy Garcia to try and provide some spark for the Wildcats. Garcia's been excellent in this tournament, batting .412, 4 runs on 7 hits, 3 RBIs. And the first pitch from Vietz. Right back up the middle. There's a ground ball base hit past the glove of Niles and into center field.
Another great start for the Wildcats. Have to avoid the double play. Giving Vietz a chance to escape these innings. Lower that pitch count. If you let him go deep, that's when this game is really going to start to get out of hand.
2 double plays in the inning, or in the game so far for Florida A&M. They have turned now 30 even on the season with their 2 today. Here's Luis Tuero, squares to bunt, pulls it back, strike 1 outside corner. Vietz up to 31 pitches. We don't know how much gas he has in the tank, but we gotta try and chase him. Spin it a throw back to first. Chun slides back in safely. Excuse me, Garcia slides back in safely. Vietz has significantly fewer innings pitched on the season than Santos does. Fouled away off a bunt, and there's 2 strikes on Tuero. Santos, 91 innings pitched. Vietz just 64.
I'd like to see Tuero swing away here. Saw Manny Sufrain got out via the 2-strike bunt foul yesterday. Against Veets, that's just another out. You don't want him to earn too easily.
He's behind in the count 0-2, Tuero. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, chopped towards first, foul. So he's tried to bunt twice, and then that would have been like a swinging bunt. It was a slow roller to the first base side. Tuero been kind of quiet this tournament. He's bottom of the Wildcats in percentage. Here's another double play ball. Fielded at second, no play to second base. Brown just flips to Greco, and that moves Garcia over to second.
So a scarier way to do it, but it works all the same as if he would have knocked that bunt down. Wildcats reverting to small ball. We've seen a lot of bunts this week, especially interesting considering just how well they've swung the bats, kind of giving up outs like that, but it has worked.
Here was Garrett Chun. Singled in the first, caught in the 5-4-3 double play that ended that inning. With a runner on second, one down, he lines this one to right field. There's a base hit. Coming home is Garcia. The throw to the plate's cut off, and the Wildcats have halved the deficit. It's 4-2.
That ball by Chun was hit so hard, I was curious if the play at the plate might have been a little closer than it ended up. But Garrett Chun hasn't been a guy with a ton of base hits this week. Has seen Veets really well. Too early in the count. Swings have gone hard contact right back into the outfield. He's been a bright spot early.
It's going to be super important for the Wildcats to just keep hitting the ball, keep getting on base, keep putting pressure on this FAMU defense. It was an RBI base hit for Garrett Chun. Here's Highland Hall, ground ball third base side, again could be two. On to second for one, the throw goes wide, Chun is out, but Hall is safe on the fielder's choice, and there's two away.
These ground balls are really, really dangerous for these Wildcats. Again, kind of giving Hunter Veets a sign of life after a little bit of a rough start to the inning. Kind of bailing him out pitch count wise. Has to stop if the Wildcats are gonna get him out of this game.
If that throw is better from Haramoto to Brown, that's another double play and the inning is over. The throw is a little low. Credit to Brown, he did pick it. Here's Boris Pena, curveball, strike one, down the middle. But he did not have a play at first. And even maybe with Highland Hall's speed, even if that was a clean throw, he wouldn't have had a play at first. We don't know. Two outs, Hall on first, the 0-1. Hit high in the air, down the right field line. That could be in no man's land, chasing after it, and it's foul. Bastardo couldn't get there, but it doesn't land in fair territory. That's one of those that the Wildcats have had those drop in fair territory in this game. But we saw the pressure that the Wildcats can put on teams, especially yesterday against Grambling. We just kind of broke them in the second, third, and fourth by playing 14 runs, and it just kind of never stopped. Pena behind 0-2 with two outs. Here's the pitch. Check swing foul back to the Rattler dugout. We'll do the 0-2 again. Pena, 364, his average for the tournament, with 3 RBIs. Once again, the 0-2. Hit off the end of the bat into right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. It was hit so shallowly that Highland Hall cannot advance past second, but it's another runner aboard for the Wildcats, 2 on, 2 outs.
We've seen kind of both sides of Veets early in this outing, but the Wildcats are hitting him hard, and that's why these double plays have just been so killer. Getting base hits, I mean, they've done it all week. It hasn't been by the long ball necessarily, but they've been base hit after base hit after base hit. That's been their go-to on offense, and it has to continue, and that's why these ground balls have just been so brutal early. 2
on, 2 out. Here's Moya, first pitch to him. Moya doesn't offer it, a breaking ball, misses outside, 1-0. But I think this inning, more than anything else, has proven that the Wildcats can get hits and can get on base against Veets. The 1-0. Low 2-0. Moya checked his swing and didn't go around.
And now we'll see how much longer it takes before FAMU thinks about trotting someone down to the bullpen. It's winner take all game. You can't waste too much time.
Wildcats still down 4-2 here, bottom of the third. The 2-0 to Moya. In the dirt again on the breaking ball, 3-0.
Wildcats have feasted all week. Anytime a pitcher starts to show the signs of losing that strike zone, the Wildcats have just been on fire. They have crushed these guys.
3-0 to Moya. Right down the middle, 3-1. Veets is someone you can trust to put one right down the middle. If he needs to, he'll just throw a beach ball knowing the opponent's not going to swing. There are pitchers that we faced this week that have not done that. Now the count 3-1. Veets deals. Breaking ball hit up the middle. There's a base hit. Highland Hall's going to round third. Here comes the throw from Jackson. It is not in time and cut off. The Wildcats have cut the deficit to 1 as Highland Hall sprints home. It's 4-3.
These Wildcats at the plate just know what they're capable of. This is the kind of team that with 2 outs early on in the season, through the middle of the season, we didn't see this kind of 2-out hitting. There'd be a lot of ended innings, a lot of guys stranded on base, but this week we've seen it. The Wildcats have proved more than capable of taking care of business when guys are on base with 2 outs. Has to continue. This is a huge inning for BCU.
Jamie Shoup going to come out to talk to his ace. Nobody warming up in the FAMU bullpen, so this is just a, hey, settle down. We still got the lead. Pitch your pitch. Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com, then click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com, and click on shop. The next hitter will be Manny Suffrain, who in the second inning hit a long home run off Veets to left center, right over that 350 sign out there, where the wall goes from right center field. It's just a flat wall all the way down the right-hand side, and it curves a little bit at the end to get to 334 down the line. It's a very kind of odd layout here at Russ Chandler Stadium. 2 on, 2 out. Here's Suffrain. Wildcats already with 2 in the inning. Pitch. Loping breaking ball. Catches the outside corner 0-1. I don't think that Veets is going to give Suffrain anything good.
Anything he does get's going to try to be on that outer half of the zone.
0-1. Suffrain swinging for the fences. Misses 0-2.
Could also use that pitch to set up a ball on the inside of the hands. Manny Suffrain does have the quickness to turn on a ball like that, but you kind of hope he just ends it up in a ground ball or a cheap pop out.
Veets trying to get out of the inning and preserve the lead for FAMU. The 0-2. Outside, did he go? No. 1-2. They check down to the third base umpire, but Patrick Graham, Johnny on the spot to make the call. Veets checks his wrist for the pitch sign, and he comes set and deals. Outside corner, 2-2.
That's clearly been the approach against Suffrain. The home run hit that he did have was kind of on that outer bottom corner. Trying to keep him away, though, as they reset the signs here.
Yeah, Veets just looked at the bullpen and kind of did a little sign. Wonder what that's all about. Here's the pitch. Suffrain offers, check swing, he went around, and that's the end of the inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 hits, and 2 left. Wildcats are in the game now, 4-3 FAMU as we head to the 4th here on the Kettle Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the top of the fourth here from Rush Chandler Stadium in Midtown Atlanta. FAMU with a 4-3 lead. The Wildcats have chipped away and chipped away. And now it's time for Santos and company to go back to work. Adam Hayter-Mota flied out to right field down the line on a nice running catch by Highland Hall to end the first inning. He leads off the fourth. And the first pitch from Nolan. Off the end of the bat into right field. Hall charging, sliding, oh no, he dropped it! You kind of expect Highland Hall to get those, but it popped out of his glove, and there's one on with nobody outs.
Highland Hall's lucky there. That ball stayed in front of him instead of going under the glove and back to the wall there. That could have been extra bases.
Now here's Jalen Niles. Niles, 400 for the tournament, well above his season average of just 242. He squares to bunt. He puts it down. It is a fair ball. They go to second for one. On to first. The ball gets away. No! I think the runner is safe at second.
To see what the call is.
No, the runner is out. The runner is out at second. And I think Shoop's going to challenge it. He is.
I'm stunned that Niles got down to first as quickly as he did. Kind of stood in the box for a while. Wasn't sure, was waiting on a foul call from the home plate official, but didn't get it. But he managed to beat that one out after just how high that ball popped up off the infield.
I'm kind of shocked that Escobar didn't make the easy play. With no outs, let the guy go to second, just take the out.
Well, the way this game has kind of started, I think the Wildcats are itching to have a chance to get out of an inning quickly and take that double play. And
because if he's safe at second, well, then you got 2 on and nobody out, and you got a problem.
Certainly see here, we're going to look at the replay here in a second as soon as we see it on our feed from the broadcast.
Yeah, here we go. Chopped right in front of first. Escobar grabs it, throws to second. Oh, he's safe. He is safe. He's safe by a mile, and it's 2 on and 1 out and nobody out, and the Rattlers are going to be in business again with the top of the order coming up.
Just another bad luck play goes against the Wildcats. They've been the beneficiary of a lot of those this week.
I shouldn't expect this review to take very long, but while they do, stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook, and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU Athletics. BCU_Athletics, that is. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamondcats on Twitter and at BCU Baseball on Instagram. Once again, if you're listening to us on 1380 WELE The Cat, you missed our about 20-minute pregame show that we did before this game. That includes interviews with head coach Jonathan Hernandez, assistant coach Jose Carballo, and second baseman Colton Olison. If you want to find that, you can go to youtube.com/Cat's Eye Network and scroll the broadcast back all the way to the beginning to hear those interviews. We expect that Adam Hayter-Mota is going to be safe at second after Escobar tried to throw down there off of a bunt. Nolan Santos just trying to throw some soft toss to Escobar during the break to stay loose.
And then there's Highland Hall, who's now switched gloves. We saw Malik Stevens just came out and handed him a new glove, traded with him. I'm not sure if maybe the other one was damaged in kind of the play attempt right there, or maybe he had a different glove than he normally uses, but he's now standing in on the infield. Mike, I'm surprised this review is kind of taking this long. Maybe the longest one we've seen all week. And some of them have been less conclusive than this one, at least from what we saw.
Well, I think the one where Frankie Feblis came home and there was a question mark about was the tag applied, where was it applied? I think that one took about 5 minutes. But yeah, this is certainly a long look.
Luckily in this case, the call on the field is out, so if the end result turns out to be something like we've seen this week along the lines of not enough evidence to overturn, the Wildcats do have the benefit of the doubt there.
But to me, that one angle that we got looking at the broadcast, he looks like he is safe. They're showing the front on angle now. I mean, it's close, but he still looks like he's safe to me.
But see, when we see that angle and how close it is, now I can kind of maybe make a case that the officials could come back out here and tell us it's not conclusive enough. Of course, we won't actually hear the reasoning. We don't have the official mics.
Yep. Daniel Gaviria still warming up in the Wildcat bullpen, nobody moving in the FAMU pen, even though Hunter Viets has given up 3 runs on 7 hits. It's 4 runs on 8 hits for FAMU. The difference in the game right now is the Jared Weber home run in the 3rd inning.
You got to think FAMU is lucky at this point. They got out of a couple of these innings with these double plays. Otherwise, the Wildcats might be the ones in front right now.
Here come the umpires. Again, we're expecting him to be safe. Home plate umpire Chris Booker is going to make the call. He's safe. And there's 2 on and nobody out. And here's the top of the order with Ty Jackson. Tripled to lead off the game and then struck out in the 2nd. And now the Wildcats really need something like a double play to try and get the momentum back in their favor. It's felt like they've been swimming upstream since the first pitch of this game.
Santos is at 64 pitches. We'll see, maybe this may be his last inning no matter what.
And that's a 2 tough outings in this tournament from someone who has been almost unhittable this year for the Wildcats. First pitch to Ty Jackson goes around on a bunt attempt, and it's 0-1.
The runner there at second, Hader Moto, was quite a ways from the bag. Escobar thought about trying the pickoff attempt, but I think just kind of the worry at this point that something could sail into center field. He holds that ball.
Santos trying to look for something. Jackson squares to bunt again. The corner infielders charge. The pitch is a ball outside on a fastball. 1-1 the count. We saw that weird kind of movement from Garcia at short where he ran around the runner.
And charging over to third base to cover the bag while Tuero charges the bunt. I'm sure we'll see the same thing right here.
The 1-1 in the dirt. Ball 2 and a bunt attempt again by Jackson. But this is as shaky as we have seen the Wildcats defensively pretty much all season. They haven't committed an error yet officially, but everything's been on edge. 2 on, nobody out. A 1-run lead for FAMU. The pitch, Jackson bunts it right back to the mound. Santos goes to third to get the lead runner. Fantastic decision. Great decision by Nolan Santos as Hader Moda is out 1-5.
And we saw Irvin Escobar kind of come out before that last pitch and put the play on for the Wildcats. So I think the plan was try to get that lead runner. That's why you see Garcia head his way over so quickly to back up that play from short. Play was to get that lead runner the whole time.
Now first and second, 1 out. Here is Ty Hanchey. Hanchey doubled in Jackson in the first and was out on a ball right back to Santos in the second. First pitch way outside. You're right when you said earlier that Santos is missing his spots by a mile, something we haven't seen from him at all this year.
Still just no trust in that fastball. Hasn't gone to it much. It's been mostly breaking balls. When he does, they've been getting hit so hard.
1-0. There's a fastball, swing and a miss. Had a little bit of tail to that as well, as it ended up in the dirt, and Hanchey couldn't catch up to it. 1-1.
That's a credit to Santos in using those breaking balls to set up that fastball. Hanchey was just so late, kind of decided to swing, was already nearly in the glove.
With 2 on and 1 out here in the fourth, Santos deals the 1-1 after checking the runner on second. Swing and a miss, the exact same pitch. It was a fastball low in the dirt, and Hanchey just had no idea where it was.
Hasn't quite timed it up yet. We'll see here if he decides to go to a third straight. Maybe mix back in that breaking ball on the outer edge.
The count is 1-2. Santos stares down Hanchey. And from the stretch, throws back to second. The tag is not in time. And now Jeremy Garcia wants a review. We'll see if Hernandez decides to challenge.
I think it'd be a rough spot for a challenge this early.
They will do it, though. They are going to challenge. We'll go to the monitors for the second time in this inning. There was a spin and a throw back to second. Jalen Niles is there, and Jeremy Garcia was convinced that he had applied the tag in time.
So I'm trying to locate. I don't think Coach Hernandez called for that challenge.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He put his fingers to his ears.
Okay. I didn't see him. He's
dugout.
hidden behind that little corner down there. I wasn't sure if it was an official timeout.
When Garcia was looking for an asteroid, I immediately looked towards and find Coach Hernandez, and he did call for the challenge.
They must feel pretty good about it then, because to potentially burn a challenge this early, we've seen it in some of the early games. Of course, we always do have the officials challenge to rely on. It's something late in the game if needed. But of course, this is a really big spot, kind of a teetering point in this game too. If the Wildcats can manage to escape this jam with no runs, you sap some of that energy from the FAMU dugout. You give your bats a chance to go again. They've already proven they're going to get you on the board. They're going to keep pushing runs across. Hunter Viets has got to be close to the end of his rope, just like Santos is.
All right, well, let's check the replay, see what we can see. As it loads up for us here. They are not showing it. Remember, the call on the field is safe at second base. So remember, they have to be indisputable video evidence. Here is the replay, and it is close.
Oh, he's out. He's out. His foot is 6 inches from the bag when the tag is applied.
No, but it's his hand, though. It's his right hand.
That's what I meant, his hand.
This could be a better angle. It's coming from behind. Catch, it depends on where he gets him. If he gets him on the helmet, he's out. If he gets him on the back, maybe he's safe.
Oh, I think he's out either way.
I think you're right, but again, we've lost,
I think
four
this
out of
one
the
is
five.
more conclusive than the first one we saw today.
Yeah, we've lost 4 out of the 5 challenges that have happened for us in this tournament. So I have no idea what they're gonna say.
As conclusive as I can say it is, we've still got some lengthy review going on over there. It's been a minute since they headed back down there.
Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the Cat Eye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the Cat Eye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. That's bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. We've got sponsorship opportunities for all sports, including football coming up in the fall, volleyball, there's going to be a lot of on the Cat Eye Network as well, men's and women's basketball, baseball and softball next year, so come on down and help support these broadcasts and support the Wildcats. Coach Johnny Hernandez is over by where the replay camera well is on the far side of the Wildcats dugout from us down the left field line. He was talking to somebody, I think the camera operator for ESPN down there. I wonder what they were talking about.
Maybe just politely asking his opinions. You think he was out?
Of course, we've got ESPN 3. Now they're showing an angle that looks like he is out because, Niles' hand is trying to go through Garcia's legs, and it doesn't look like it gets there.
It looks like he's out by a good 6
Here
inches.
come the officials. Once again, it will be Chris Booker to make the call. He's safe.
So if he's safe, the result must have something to do with the fact that Garcia's
And they're giving him third base.
So that's obstruction of the bag.
And they're calling obstruction on Garcia. That is incredible.
Rattlers coach Jamie Shoup is going to come out and confirm the call with the official. He thinks the runner should be moved up to second as well.
Now runners, instead of there being 2 outs, now there's 1 out and runners on the corners with Ty Hanchey at the plate and a 1-2 count. That is incredible.
It is not often you see a coach's challenge flip that way.
Because he was out, you're right, by 6 inches, but they called obstruction on Garcia. And nothing has gone the Wildcats' way so far today. They are still only down 1. But it could be a lot worse if they can't get out of this inning.
Santos at 68 pitches.
How many did he throw on Wednesday?
To check on that number for you.
I can find that. I can find it real quick. Anyway, Hanchey steps back in, the count 1-2 to him. And the pitch hit on the ground towards first. Grabbed by Soufrain. Underhands to Santos. He steps on the bag in time. Niles scores. It's 5-3, and there are 2 outs. And that is where the challenge hurts you, because if the challenge succeeds, or even if they don't move him to third, that's not a run.
And I think we see earlier in this game, Soufrain might have gone to second with that ball, but just the way everything has kind of gone and some of the balls that have bounced kind of unfairly for the Wildcats, he decides to take the easy out to first. Nolan Santos hustles over there to make the play.
Now with 1 in the inning and 2 gone, here's Jared Weber, who homered to third in the third and then singled to right in the first on the RBI that scored Ty Hanchey. Count 0-1 with Ty Jackson on second. The pitch. Breaking ball misses the zone, 1-1.
Energy from this crowd is already sapped a little bit from what it was. Just the tension kind of starting to build as we realize more and more how evenly matched these teams are and how kind of either way this could go at this point.
Santos is 1-1. Swing and a miss and a fastball outside, and it's 1-2. We were talking this morning, Bryce, about how we thought this game could go, and an offensive slugfest. It was kind of the consensus about what we thought would happen. And it's seeing it's 5-3 and only the fourth, and both starters are still in. Maybe what we get. The 1-2. Fastball outside corner, not called a strike, 2-2.
Not sure where that one missed. Credit to Nolan Santos. He has settled down quite a bit since that first inning. Finding his spots a little better. He's starting to kind of feature the fastball a little bit more and more here deeper into the game. Gonna have to keep finding those put-out pitches.
2-2, 2 outs. The pitch. In the dirt and almost skipped away from Escobar. The count runs full, and I think Irvin might want to walk out to the mound to talk to his pitcher, and he will. No, he'll just throw some words of encouragement his way while tossing him a fresh baseball. Count full on Jared Weber. Ty Jackson leads off second with 2 outs in the fourth. Wildcats down 5-3, trying to keep it that way. The pitch. Breaking ball just barely tapped foul. Weber got the barest of pieces of that, and he stays alive.
It's a breaking ball that would have been in there for a strike had there been no foul. We've seen a lot of those balls miss low or outside.
Pitch number 73 upcoming for Santos here. He winds and fires. Breaking ball hit towards left field, foul. It'll bounce into the bullpen. Man, Jared Weber has had Santos' number so far today. With a hard single and then the home run. Both home runs that were hit today, one by Weber, of course, and then one by Sufrain, have been no doubters off the bat. Once again, the 3-2 with 2 outs. Fouled straight back.
We said to start this inning, this may be Santos' final inning. Either way, could see something as well where he comes back out, and if allows a base runner, might be the end.
We saw that philosophy in the first game against Southern, and it came back to bite the Wildcats. Breaking ball chopped toward third. It's fair. Tuero long throw across the diamond. It is in time. What a stretch by Sufrain. That's a beautiful play. Get away with it. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 5-3 FAMU. Wildcats bats need to stay hot here in the SWAC championship game here in Rush Chandler Stadium in Atlanta. You're listening to the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. Irvin Escobar leads off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Wildcats, down 5-3. Hunter Viets still out there, 51 pitches thrown for him. They put the shift on Escobar, and he grounds one to short. This will be a tough play for Niles, who fires in time, one away.
That's the rare quick out from Irvin Escobar. It's a big inning for the Wildcats offensively.
We have somebody starting to go and stretch in the Rattler bullpen. You think if the Wildcats could extend this inning a little bit, it might be the end of Viets. We're thinking it might be the end of Nolan Santos for BCU on the other side, but if they go down 1, 2, 3 in quick succession, we'll see Viets out for the 5th. You know it. Here's Colton Olison. First pitch to him. Fastball down the middle, strike 1. Olison struck out to end the 2nd. And a breaking ball slider misses low, 1-1. Starting to see some more maroon and gold trickle in here as this game has progressed. Still a lot more FAMU fans. The 1-1, low and inside, 2-1. But this is as packed as we've seen this stadium all week for this championship game. 2-1 from Viets. Breaking ball doesn't drop low enough, and it misses high upstairs by the neck of Olison, 3-1. This is the 2nd time that Viets has been in a 3-1 count. Chop towards 2nd, another play for Niles. This one's right at him. He throws to 1st, and a stretch by Greco gets it done, 2 away. 6-3, 6-3, and there are 2 down.
This Wildcats bottom of the order have been such table setters all week for those top big bats. It takes some 2-out hitting to do that here.
Here's Jeremy Garcia, singled and scored in the 3rd on the RBI by Garrett Chun. Viets looks over the top of his glove. He puts it right above his face before starting his windup. The first pitch to Garcia, towering breaking ball, catches the bottom part of the zone, 0-1. 0-1. Breaking ball misses low, 1-1. We said it, this game is all about who's going to be who gets to the bullpen and who can take advantage of it. Right now, FAMU is winning that race, leading 5-3. The 1-1. Fastball low, 2-1.
A little bit of activity finally in the FAMU bullpen. Looks like a lefty, Jared Townsend, out there kind of stretching out.
And right now, Viets doesn't look like he is phased at all. The 2-1. Outside, a strike called, 2-2.
Garcia kind of nodding his head. The crowd kind of gets into it here.
The 2-2, chopped foul right at home plate. And it looked like it came off of the knee or ankle of Garcia as he stays alive. The Wildcats are going to have to get clutch pitching and defense to stay in this ball game long enough so that the offense can maybe have a chance to bring them back. Garcia chopped towards 1st. It's going to be the second baseman Brown to field and taking him all the way himself. That's a rare one. It's 4 unassisted, and 1, 2, 3 go the Wildcats. We go to the 5th. 5-3 Rattlers here in the SWAC championship game in 2023. This is BCU Baseball on the Cat-Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the top of the 5th, approaching halfway through this contest. Sebastian Greco leads off, singled and had an RBI in the 1st and lined out straight to Manny Sufrain on a hard hit ball in the 3rd. The Wildcats have been really tough sledding this game. Santos misses high and away. Another blatant miss of his spot there. You think he doesn't have long, Bryce?
I'd imagine it's a base runner and he's done.
Greco swings and misses at a changeup, and it's 1-1.
Seen a lot of different arms down in the BCU pen. Daniel Gaviria is back up standing. We've seen Pablo Torres, Dale Machad.
Another swing and miss, this time a fastball low. That fastball low in the dirt has been the go-to for Santos. Chop foul right at the plate, count holds 1-2. You mentioned that he's now in the 5th inning. He only has 5 strikeouts, which is shocking to say, but it is low for Nolan on the year. Working quickly the 1-2, upstairs 2-2.
FAMU has not given in on that high fastball. Not sure we've seen one swing on it yet today. Maybe just a tick lower on the velocity than what we've seen in this traditional start.
2-2. Strike 3, it's the low fastball again, and Greco swings through it, 1 away.
That's easily the pitch FAMU's had the most trouble with today. You couple that with that breaking ball that's kind of dropping into a similar part of the zone. It's that speed mix that's really throwing off the Rattlers. It's the one part of the game that Nolan Santos has found some success for today.
Here's Yanmikel Bastardo, 2 base hits today for him. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. First pitch a strike, 0-1. Bastardo averaging 387 on the season, 49 runs, 11 homers, 48 RBIs. And there's a ball, fastball missed inside and low. 1-1. Santos back to working quickly. Breaking ball finds the inside corner, 1-2. This is what has been missing from Nolan early in the game. It's been so deliberate and so slow. Usually he's a pacey guy, likes to keep batters on their toes by just going fast. He's already into his windup again. And another fastball upstairs. Misses 2-2 with no swing from Bastardo.
It's the first time we've seen 2 straight fastballs in this inning. It's all been fast, slow, fast, slow.
The 2-2. In the air to left field, not deep. Pena moving over, looking up, makes the catch. And there are 2 away. That's the first, easy out the Wildcats have had in the field, maybe all game.
Whether it's the big bounce or the long run, you're right, Mike, it's not been easy.
Here's Joseph Pierini, struck out twice, once looking in the 1st and swinging in the 3rd. Santos looks over his blue glove and into the stretch, deals. Outside corner, ball 1. Pierini checked his swing. Pierini from Crawfordsville, Florida. Pitch, swing, and a miss, and a fastball low, and it's 1-1, as most of the players in this game are. Of course, we've got 2 Florida schools going at it. 1-1. Off the end of the bat, foul into the Champions Hall building down the left field line. That caught the tent that somebody has up there exactly perfectly to just roll off onto the floor. I don't think he could do that again if he tried. Santos ahead in the count, 1-2. Big cut and miss. That time it was a changeup, but it doesn't matter. Pierini has struck out 3 times, and Santos has a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Wildcats still down 5-3 here on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Top of the order for the Wildcats. Here's Luis Chuero. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out to first unassisted and then grounded out to second base. His first 2 plate appearances against Hunter Viets, who has been pretty good. First pitch, low, ball 1. Viets at 63 pitches to Nolan Santos is 92. Inside and low, 2-0.
He's threw 105 pitches in his start earlier this week. See what kind of leash he has, but you really need to score runs if you want to get him out at this frame. The pitch count's not going to do it.
Off the end of the bat, popped sky high to center field. Running on, diving, and the ball pops out of the glove of Jackson. Finally, something goes the Wildcats' way as Chuero is on with a leadoff bloop single to center. That one kind of dropped in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be right at Ty Jackson, but for whatever reason, backspin on it or something else, kind of died right out there in the middle of center field. That's just the kind of break the Wildcats need. They've seemed to have capitalized every time they've put a leadoff base runner on today.
Here's Garrett Shun, who must feel like the most unlucky man this side of the Mississippi. He has 2 base hits and has been caught in the middle of 2 double plays. Right now he bats with Chuero on first and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch from Viets is a spin and a throw back to first. The ball skips away. Chuero going to go to second. They're going to throw over to try and get him. The throw is not in time and he slides in safely.
And here we go. We talk about the Wildcats are always a team that makes you pay for your mistakes. Whether it's the drop in no man's land or a ball thrown away now. You've got 3 outs to get at least 1 run across. It's rally time.
First error of the game for FAMU, charged to Viets on the wild throw. Chuero now standing on second. First pitch to Garrett Shun, outside ball 1.
Last time we saw the Wildcats rally against Viets, it was when he couldn't find the plate.
He's only walked 1 so far today. That was Irvin Escobar back in the 2nd.
Putting guys in hitters' counts.
1-0. Shun grounded towards first. That'll do it. It gets the runner across. It acts as a swinging bunt. Greco takes it himself, 3 unassisted, but Chuero now 90 feet away with Highland Hall coming to the plate and 1 down.
The Wildcats are fortunate for the FAMU error. Otherwise, that may have been another tailor-made double play ball. Highland Hall hitting to 1 today.
Highland Hall hit into a 5-4-3 double play in the first, reached on a fielder's choice and scored on the Boris Pena single. First pitch to him is low, ball 1. Chuero on third, Wildcats down by 2. Viets, a long look in at his catcher, Ty Hanchy. Now he comes set. Out of the stretch, the pitch. Inside, missed it, 2-0. We have seen Viets now lose a little bit of command in this inning.
He's got to be getting tired on short rest. He's a little banged up throughout the course of the season.
2-0. Hall swings at one that was in on his hands and fouls it off of somewhere, it looks like on his torso. And it's 2-1, and Hall squats down behind the plate in some obvious discomfort. He's now chirping at the catcher, Ty Hanchy. They're both from the Orlando area, Hanchy and Hall. So I wonder if they know each other. Hall, of course, the transfer from Washington State, coming back to his home state to play baseball here for VCU, was the SWAC's newcomer of the year. Lots of space open up the middle if Hall can find it. The 2-1 way outside in the opposite batter's box, 3-1.
Wildcats have been patient on these kind of pitches all week. We've seen a lot of 3-1 takes, but Highland Hall may be the most likely in this lineup to swing at the 3-1.
Viets from the stretch. Hall does swing at it and foul it into the VCU bullpen. Count runs full.
Highland Hall is such an emotional barometer for this Wildcats team. If there's any way he can score the run, maybe a extra base hit here, you're going to see the Wildcats light up.
Hall points the bat at Viets, now raises it over his shoulder. The pitch. Viets grounded to third. That's going to keep it in the infield, and it's not going to score the run. Across to first, 2 outs.
Can't squander opportunities like this, even if it's just the 1 run this inning. You keep chipping away. Need a hit here.
Here's Boris Pena. He also has 2 hits today. Was caught in a double play after base hitting in the second, and then scored Highland Hall on an RBI single in the third. Luis Chuero, after his Leadoff single awaits on third. A wave and a miss and a fastball low and away, 0-1. Pena will want that one back. Veach trying to get out without any more damage. He kicks and fires. Fastball strike outside corner, 0-2. Pena not happy with the call, but he's got to choke up and protect the plate now. Veach would really light up his dugout by getting out of this jam. The 0-2 in the dirt. Luis Tuero thought about coming home if that ball got by Hanchey to the backstop, but it did not. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Pena with the 2 hits off Veach already. He's probably going to try to miss off the plate again here and induce a swing and miss.
From the stretch, deals. Tipped, foul, and it hit Hanchey in the chest protector. That is the barest of touches of the bat from Luis Tuero, from Boris Pena, but he stays alive. He will see another 1-2 from Veach. Cocks his right leg back and throws it. Outside, ball 2.
Still a ways to go for Boris Pena to work his way back into this at-bat.
Wildcats still down 2. Pena fouls it off to the right-hand side. And if nothing else, this is just making Veach throw more pitches. This next pitch will be number 76. And there is some action in the FAMU bullpen. The 2-2 with 2 down. Swing and a miss. He swung at a garbage pitch outside and low, and Veach gets out of it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the 6th inning. FAMU can start to taste that trophy. We're still listening to BCU Baseball on the Cat Network on 1380 WELE. Nolan Santos has thrown 92 pitches, but he's going to throw some more as he is back on the mound to start the 6th inning. Will Brown leads off for the Rattlers. Struck out in the first, popped out to short in the 3rd. FAMU still with a 5-3 lead here as we start the 6th inning of play. Both teams have hit the ball 8 times and have committed 1 error. But it was that 3-run first where they got 5 straight hits to open the game without an out. That's the difference in the game right now. First pitch was low. Second pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1. How much gas does Nolan have left? We're about to find out. The 1-1 hits him in the shoulder. And the first free pass of the game from Santos, and I think that might be it for Nolan. First batter of the inning on board again. That has been probably the bane of the Wildcats' existence in this entire tournament. And here's Hader Moda. Hader Moda flied out to right field in the first to end the inning, singled in the 4th, and then was caught 1-5 out at 3rd. Hader Moda squares the bunt, spin it a throwback to first. Brown dives back in.
Daniel Gaviria is back up and throwing. He figures to be the guy out of the pen. If they move on from Santos, another base hit or another runner on board would likely do it.
Fastball in on the hands. Ball 1 to Hader Moda. Adam, a junior from Tampa, Florida, prepped at Robinson High School. He squares to bunt again. He pulls it back. The fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Luis Chuero stands at the edge of the infield grass, getting ready to charge this. 1-1. Breaking ball. Just misses upstairs the letters. 2-1. Santos from the stretch. On the ground towards second. Olison fields. Goes to second for 1. On to first, no play. It's a fielder's choice. And there is 1 away.
Olson clutching his hand there. Might have gotten hit by the fast-moving ball. He's still kind of shaking it out there at second. Figures to be all right.
Here's Jalen Niles now. Struck out in the second, singled. Was moved to third on the obstruction call when we thought he might have been out on the pickoff attempt second, and eventually scored on the Ty Jackson fielder's choice. First pitch breaking ball catches the outside corner of the zone with the slider. 0-1. Energy still all in FAMU's direction. The Wildcats have not done enough offensively to break that trend. Pitch. Breaking ball, another slider misses just off the plate. 1-1. Nolan Santos now up over 100 pitches on 4 days rest. Can't say enough about his character to stay in it, keep the Wildcats in this game. Another fastball misses off the plate. 2-1.
Home plate official today has had a much tighter strike zone than I think we're used to seeing or have seen all regular season and this week.
The claps begin from the FAMU fans. The 2-1. Breaking ball again in the dirt. 3-1.
Santos just looking for the swing and miss, but with only 1 strike, there's only so much good that can do. Now you've got this batter in a dangerous spot.
Niles in the tournament, 400 even. His batting average up the middle. It's going to be fielded at short. Stepping on the bag at second. Garcia throw to first, not in time. It's another fielder's choice. Hader Moda out. 6 unassisted. And Jalen Niles on with a fielder's choice, and there's 2 away.
Close play, no one's going to argue it.
Really nice play by Garcia, though. Heads up to take the ball, race over behind second base. Nolan Santos almost caught that ball off the bat. It was straight up the middle. Garcia made the play, stepped on second, tried to double him off, just didn't get it. Here's a pickoff attempt back to first as Niles was straying away. Here's Ty Jackson, tripled in the first and scored, struck out of the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth with an RBI as well. With 2 down here in the 6th, they go to the pickoff attempt again, and Niles dives back in. Santos, I think, wanted to try and get out of the inning without trying to pitch to Jackson, who's had his number today. Escobar sets up way outside to the right-hand hitter. First pitch is a ball, even though Escobar tried to frame it. Escobar now looks back to the dugout to try and get a signal from Coach Hernandez. Santos, another spin and a throw back to first, and skipping back is Niles. Niles in the tournament has not stolen a base. Breaking ball hit high in the air, foul off the end of the bat to the right-hand side, and the count 1-1. I'm wondering if they're worried about Niles stealing with 2 down.
This Wildcats pitching staff has always shown a lot of attention to those runners on base. Don't have a ton of pickoffs this year.
1-1. In on the hands, 2-1. Santos has done all he can today after a rough first inning to try and keep the Wildcats in at 108 pitches. Here is 109, the 2-1. That finds the outside corner, and it's 2-2.
Now Santos has to find maybe just one more put-out pitch.
1 on, 2 out. Wildcats still down by 2. Santos from the stretch, the 2-2. Breaking ball chopped towards third. Tuero Fields goes over to first. In time with the stretch by Sufrain, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We are still down by 2, 5-3 FAMU. Time getting short now for the Wildcats to try and make a comeback here on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Florida A&M still leads this one 5-3. Wildcats looking for some answers offensively. Here is Robert Moya to lead off the inning. Grounded into a 1-4-3 double play in the 2nd, and then singled in the 3rd. Hunter Viets back out there for the 6th. We've said all game, if we could chase Viets, we have a chance. Haven't done it yet. He's at 82 pitches on 4 days rest. The first pitch to Moya spiked in the dirt and gets by Hanchy to the backstop, 1-0.
That control gets out of hand. I don't think the Rattlers will take much to go to that bullpen.
Rattlers head coach Jamie Shoup comes, collects the ball. Here's the 2nd pitch. Moya swings and misses and falls to a knee on a pitch that was on the outside corner, 1-1. You don't have to swing for the fences here. You can't get it all back at once. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. We are seeing more work in that FAMU bullpen, but no indication that Viets is anywhere near done. The 2-1. Low, 3-1. Robert Moya, despite having one of the better averages and the better power bats on this team, has drawn the most walks with 40 on the season. Swing and a miss. Fastball at the knees. 3-2 count, runs full.
Another pitch trying to hammer it. Big uppercut swing.
The full count delivery. Strike 3, rang him up on a fastball at the knees. And Robert Moya knows it.
Yeah, I think he knew that ball was right at the edge. Tough take. But with the full count, got to expand the strike zone. It's now or never for the Wildcats.
Here's Manny Sufrain, homered in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. Sufrain swings and misses at the first pitch. It was a breaking ball that dropped away, and it was fouled. 0-1. Viets, after giving up 2 runs in the 3rd, has sat down 6 of the last 7 Wildcats.
They just need something to get that confidence back, get some of that swagger back that they've had carried with them all week. Starting to look more and more like the Game 1 Wildcats.
0-1. Upstairs, 1-1. Viets, originally from Pensacola, a transfer from University of Auburn at Montgomery. Did Sufrain go on a check swing? Yes, he did. 1-2. And he is one of the guys in this game. Nolan Santos, another one, maybe Highland Hall, a 3rd eventually, if looking towards that MLB draft coming up in a month or so. The 1-2, breaking ball misses, low, 2-2. Another guy that's come up from a lower level, UAM D2. Here's the 2-2. Hit on a line to first and past the diving glove of Greco. That's going to get to the right field corner. Sufrain rounds first and holds up as Bastardo fires in. It's a one-out single for Sufrain, and the Wildcats have a base runner on their 9th hit of the contest.
Let's see if that might be enough of a confidence boost for the rest of this lineup. We know how hot Irvin Escobar's been. It'd be a big spot for his first action today.
Walked in the 2nd and grounded out to short in the 4th. That was part of a 1-2-3 inning. We haven't really seen Escobar work the way he has the rest of this tournament. The first pitch to him, inside, ball 1. Missed with the fastball, did Viets. Last year, Viets appeared in 15 games, had an 8-4 record with 90 innings pitched. With a 2.98 ERA, all SWAC second team for Viets. Pitch. There's a fastball at the knees for strike 1. Umpire Chris Booker's been consistently calling that outside low corner as a strike. 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. And that time, Viets like kind of put his head down, maybe give himself a little bit of a talking to. He now comes set again. Behind the count to Escobar, 2-1. From the stretch, here's the pitch. Escobar hammered toward third. That might be another double play ball. On to second for 1. Back to first. A third double play turned by FAMU in the game. And they get out of another inning. To the 7th we go. The Wildcats will likely go to the bullpen. It's 5-3 FAMU, inching closer to that SWAC title here in Atlanta. You're listening to PCU Baseball on the Cat Eye Network on 1380 WELE. We go to the 7th inning, just 3 frames left for the Wildcats to find something, and for the first time in the ballgame, we have a pitching change. Daniel Gaviria comes to the mound for the Wildcats after Nolan Santos gave everything he had, over 110 pitches. Ty Hanchy leads off, the lefty Gaviria. His first pitch out of the windup is a slider that misses away 1-0. Gaviria on the season, 5-3. 15 appearances with 14 starts. He's got a 4.21 ERA. 3 complete games, no saves. Pitch. Hit hard to right field. There's a base hit. And Hanchy is aboard.
I've seen a lot of arms poking around in that bullpen for a while now. The leash isn't going to be long with only 3 to play here.
Here's Jared Weber, singled and scored in the first, homered on the solo shot in the 3rd. grounded out to third in the fourth. That was at the end of the inning. There was a great play by Tuero. 1 on, nobody out after the Hanchey signal. First pitch lefty to righty. Breaking ball in there for strike one. Rest of Gaviria's numbers: an 83 and a third innings pitch. He's given up 48 runs on 88 hits, striking out 49, walking 18. He's more of a pitch to contact guy, but the contact from FAMU in this game has all been so hard. Just like that base hit to right is a strike at the knees, 0-2 on Weber. You wonder if the defense behind Gaviria is not going to get much of a chance to make plays. Daniel ahead 0-2 on Weber. He winds and fires. Hit in the air towards center field. Garrett Shun moves over, tracks it, 3 steps in, makes the catch. Going towards second is Hanchey. He will hold up after a nice throw by Chun to hold him on, 1 away.
Gaviria, primarily a ground ball type pitcher. Anytime that ball goes in the outfield, you start to worry a little bit, but you take the out. Probably just the only inning we'll see Gaviria with the rest of those guys ready to go in the pen. He's got to give it everything he's got.
Here's Sebastian Greco, singled in the first, lined out to Sufrain at first in the third. He swings and misses at a high fastball outside, 0-1. And then Greco struck out in the fifth, one of 7 strikeouts on the day for Nolan Santos. The 0-1. Hit hard in the air to right field and deep. Back goes Hall. All he can do is watch it go.
And I think that's what you're worried about when you saw a guy like Daniel Gaviria come in. He's been kind of prone to that kind of swing this year. Doesn't have the velocity to blow it by guys. Doesn't have the breaking stuff to get the swings and misses. Has to kind of live in the zone. And on short rest, when those balls are missing in the zone, that one goes a long way.
It's a 2-run homer for Sebastian Greco, his 15th of the season, to lead the Rattlers, and they are now 7-3 up and inching ever closer to that Southwestern Athletic Conference title. First pitch to the next hitter, Jan-Michael Bastardo, is outside and low, ball 1. You gotta wonder, Bryce, here's the pitch. Off the end of the bat, sky high to right field, that will go foul. If the Wildcats have poured so much energy into fighting their way through the losers bracket, getting those 4 straight wins, coming back in every single game, that they've just run out of gas today.
Well, we knew it was coming. These are 2 teams in such similar spots. Somebody was going to come out on top of this game, and you could have said the same thing either way. We'll see what kind of heart these Wildcats have left. I wouldn't put anything past them after this week.
Inside, almost hit Bastardo, and the count 2-1. Gaviria quickly working. Outside, missed with a slider, 3-1. He is going at a rapid pace, is Gaviria. He's already set to deal again. He winds and fires. Outside, ball 4. Jan-Michael Bastardo turns and pumps his fist to the Rattler dugout as he makes his way to first.
That's going to do it for Gaviria. Here comes Coach Hernandez.
Daniel Gaviria got the opportunity and unfortunately allowed 2 runs on 2 hits and did not record an out. It looks like we'd have Pablo Torres trot in for the bullpen.
I think Torres, looking back, you start to question Gaviria put into that game. I think Torres may have been the better call, not working on as much rest as Gaviria's had, but he's got that fastball that's just a lot more competitive, and it's something you can reach back, get guys to swing and miss. Got a little bit better breaking stuff. Not relying on pitch to contact on a FAMU team that's just seen the ball so well across the board today.
Pablo Torres enters the game now. The freshman. He is 1-2 in 14 appearances with 4 starts with a 6.52 ERA. In 38 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 31 runs on 39 hits, striking out 49 and walking 25. He's given up 5 homers, 2 triples, 3 doubles, and opponents are batting .269 against him.
He's been good. We've seen him just have real success with that high 90s fastball. He's hit 96, 97 points during this season. He was good earlier this week. to take a lot. FAMU is just feeling it right now, and the Wildcats are kind of falling victim to what they've done to other teams. That momentum, that energy is kind of slipping away. It's going to take something big here for the Wildcats to turn that around.
Torres finished off the game against Jackson State, came in the 5th and worked all the way to the end and was fantastic. But he's going to have to just repair the damage here. 2 in already in the inning for FAMU at 7-3 on the 2-run blast by Greco. 1 on, Bastardo at first, and just 1 out. Here is Joseph Pierini, who is glad to see anybody on the mound that's not named Nolan Santos. He struck out 3 times today. And the lefty stands into the batter's box, the designated hitter. Short for a college athlete, only 5'7" is Pierini. First pitch from Torres bounces it to the plate. Torres from the stretch, nods at the pitch sign and deals. Low, ball 2.
Now we kind of figured the first team to the bullpen was going to get the benefit of this. Guys who are on short rest, seen a lot of action this week, newer to the bigger spots, struggling to throw strikes.
The Rattlers have won that race, and they have won it in style. There's a fastball strike at the knees, 2-1. I mean, of course, we've seen this Wildcats team put up 14 runs last night, 7 and 10 in the doubleheader on Friday, 11 against Jackson State in the elimination game on Thursday. They can put runs across. They have just had no answer for Hunter Veets today. And while it was a valiant effort from Nolan Santos, he just didn't get enough from his offense. Big cut and miss from Pierini in the count 3-2. Joseph taps the bat on the plate now, brings it above his shoulder. From the stretch, Pablo Torres kicks and deals. Low, ball 4. 2 straight walks across the pitching change for BCU, and there's 2 on with 1 out.
Control, control, control. It's been the name of the game all week. The Wildcats have preyed on it all week long.
Kind of being a victim of their own medicine. Here's Will Brown, struck out in the first, popped out to second. Wants you to be short in the third. Was hit by a pitch and was caught out in a fielder's choice 4-6 in the 6th. First pitch outside to the righty, 1-0. And coming down to the end of a long tournament like this, especially in conferences like the SWAC and the MEAC where the Wildcats have been, as the 1-0 from Torres is fouled away 1-1. It's really, it's just a battle of attrition, and you see a lot of times in finals. We were talking to Brian Harvey yesterday at dinner and then today at the ballpark, and he said, well, a lot of the finals that Bethune-Cookman won in the MEAC were complete blowouts because one team just had nothing left and the other team got to them and just continued to bat around.
Well, this Wildcats team was set up better, especially after the run ruler yesterday. We thought we might see a guy like Pablo Torres or maybe Yohan Gonzalez. Didn't have to use either of them yesterday, but it's really been Hunter Veets that's put FAMU on his back and given them everything they've needed.
The 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1. The winner of this game season will continue. Not only will they win the Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship, which would be a first for both programs, but they will advance to the NCAA Tournament Regional Round. The 2-2 from Torres. Strike 3 called at the knees. Brown didn't like it, but he goes down, and there's 2 away.
It's another strikeout on a pitch down in the zone for this Wildcats pitching staff today. It was a good pitch. Fastball stayed just above the knees there. It was a big break to get that call for Torres. Maybe give a little bit of life. Wildcats need to keep this right where it is.
Here's Adam Hayter-Moda, flied out to right in the first. singled and was caught out on the base paths 1-5 in the 4th to get the lead runner, fielder's choice in the 6th. First pitch from Torres, breaking ball doesn't break, and it misses high 1-0, excuse me. I wonder if we will see Vietz again in the bottom of the 7th, considering the lead has ballooned to 7-3. Torres deals. Inside almost hit him, and it's 2-0. But the way he's been throwing the ball, you'd think you might, as Coach Johnny Hernandez is singled down to the bullpen. Yohan Gonzalez is throwing down there. This may be Gaviria's last batter if he doesn't get him out. Excuse me, this is Pablo Torres' last batter. The 2-0 to Hader Mota. Oh no, that's a strike at the knees, and Hader Mota jumps in the air and doesn't believe it.
Yeah, that ball is low and outside, well off the plate.
Chris Booker, the home plate umpire, just threw Torres a bone. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, tipped into the glove, and it's 2-2, and somehow Torres, who couldn't find the plate at all with the first 2 pitches in the inning of the at-bat, rather, has battled back, and it's 2-2, 2 outs, 2 on.
That was a similar pitch. Hader Mota had no choice but to swing at it because he got rung up on it on the pitch before.
First and second, 2 down. Pitch. Foul back. There was another one low. I think the Wildcats rightly know they're going to get that call, and they're just chewing up that bottom portion into the zone. Hader Mota calls for time, now steps back in. Pablo Torres from the stretch, the 2-2. Foul away again, and it's another good 2-2 upcoming. FAMU looking to improve to a positive record on the year with a win. They are 28-28 coming into the game. Bethune-Cookman 33-26. The 2-2 off the end of the bat into right field. Highland Hall moving over, makes the catch to end the inning, but it's a big one for FAMU. It almost feels like a backbreaker. 2 runs on the 2-run homer by Greco. 2 hits and no errors and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th as Hunter Vietz trots back out to continue to haunt the Wildcats here in this one. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. Colton Olesen leads off the bottom of the 7th inning for Bethune-Cookman, now down by 5, 7-3. Hunter Vietz at 90-plus pitches, still in the game for FAMU. He has carried them on his back. Time is called, for what reason I'm not sure. It was the third base umpire, Patrick Graham, that called for it. He now signals that he is okay to go. Vietz's first delivery is a fastball in on the hands for strike 1. Olesen 0 for 2, strikeout in the first, ground ball to short in the 4th. Breaking ball misses outside and low, 1-1. Colton, obviously, his best asset is his defense. He's made a couple of nice plays today. 1-1, upstairs 2-1. And with all the quote-unquote command issues that Hunter Viets has had, he has only walked one guy. That was Irvin Escobar all the way back in the second inning. The 2-1. Ground ball to short. Easy scoop by Niles. Fires across, one down.
With every strike and with every out, that FAMU dugout gets more and more fired up. If Viets gets through another inning here, it gets towards the end of the hopes for the Wildcats.
Here's Jeremy Garcia, has one of the 3 runs for the Wildcats in the game. Singled and scored in the third, was out on a ground ball, 4 unassisted, one of the rare ones in the fourth. And you know that it has not gone well for your offense. This is only the 3rd time through the order, and we are in the 7th inning. Garcia waves and misses at a fastball low and away, 0-1.
The first pitch swinging, that's kind of what's haunted the Wildcats and put them in kind of these offensive ruts.
He chops one towards first. It goes foul. Antoine Brown over there, the first base coach for BCU, doesn't even bother walking over to get the ball. Lets Greco do it. Mentioned last inning, not only is the SWAC championship on the line, but a trip to the NCAA regionals. We were debating on where the winning team from this game could go. It'll likely be either Miami or Gainesville. In the dirt, 1-2 to Garcia. Jeremy only hit .267 in the regular season, but has hit over .400 for this tournament, and he swings and fouls one off the end of the bat straight into the Wildcat dugout. Stays alive, 1-2. Big strike 3 call and a loping curveball that caught the outside corner. Not many strikeouts for Viets today. That's only number 5, but it's another confidence booster for Hunter, who's now over 100 pitches. Here's Luis Chuero with 2 down.
Viets has pounded the strike zone all day.
Forced soft contact, 3 double plays for the FAMU infield. This one chopped toward first. Easy pickings for Greco. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Wildcats offensively. We go to the 8th. It's going to take a miracle now. Wildcats down 7-3 here in Atlanta at the SWAC championship game. You're listening to BCU Baseball, the Cat Eye Network, and 1380 WELE. Jalen Niles leads off the top of the 8th for Florida A&M. They have a 7-3 lead here in the SWAC championship game. They can taste that maiden Southwestern Athletic Conference crown of the baseball diamond. I believe would be a first ever SWAC title in any sport for FAMU.
No, they took volleyball this season,
All right,
women's tennis as well.
But this would be the biggest scalp, as they have entered this conference now in their 2nd season and have come to play, as has Bethune-Cookman. First pitch from Pablo Torres to Niles is a slider strike, 0-1. We were talking with Brian Harvey and a couple other people this morning and all tournament long really about how the Wildcats and the Rattlers, as the pitch is low, 1-1, have put the SWAC baseball conference on notice with their arrival last year. Of course, BCU, a game away from the title game last year, made the title game this year. Niles fouls one off on the inside of the bat, 1-2. And they're now going to compete for recruits with the top teams like Grambling and Alabama State, and we could see a long-term shift in the power dynamics on the baseball diamonds of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. 1-2. Missed upstairs with the fastball, 2-2.
And of course, some great coaching staffs on both sides of this matchup here, not to mention with Alabama State. Those three programs are easily primed to have the most success and just kind of solidify the SWAC East as the most dominant part of this conference.
Big cut and miss from Niles as he goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Pablo Torres. And there's one away. Here's the top of the order, Ty Jackson. Jackson led off the game with a first pitch swinging triple and ended up scoring on the Hanchy double. Struck out of the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth and got an RBI there as well. And then grounded out to third to end the sixth. First pitch swinging, chops it foul softly to third base side.
And I know Coach Hernandez is going to do some second guessing after this game about the decision to start last inning with Daniel Gaviria, just a pitch to contact guy on a day that FAMU has just had so much hard contact. I think that's your biggest second guess. Of course, the offense is going to wear it if the Wildcats lose this game. It just wasn't enough with the way Viets has thrown the ball. Every little second guess is no doubt going to factor in.
We've gone, back. Here's a big cut and miss by Jackson, and it's 0-2. Gone back to kind of how we looked in game one against Southern, just swinging at the first pitch, giving them easy innings, not testing the starter, not trying to get to the bullpen. And it has hurt the Wildcats in this one. They're down 7-3. Changeup misses way upstairs, slipped out of Torres' hand, 1-2. But it is going to be a long ride back to Daytona Beach tonight for everybody in maroon and gold. What ifs? Always swirling in a tournament situation like this. Fouled away, count holds 1-2. But even though the Wildcats are likely not going to come back in this game, as the 1-2 from Torres is inside 2-2. I think when we look back on this tournament from a historical perspective in the career of the Wildcats in the SWAC and of Coach Hernandez, I think that we will look back on this and say, yes, we could have won the title, but here's a big cut and miss. 3 straight strikeouts now across the inning break for Torres, and there's 2 away. We will look back on this and say this is where the Wildcats announced themselves to the SWAC. They beat the Blue Bloods. They beat Jackson State. They beat Southern. They beat Grambling State twice in convincing fashion, and then just kind of ran out of gas at the end. Here's Ty Jackson. That can't be Ty Jackson. This is Ty Hanchy, excuse me. There are 2 ties on this team. I want to correct something I said earlier. I incorrectly said that Ty Hanchy was from the Orlando area. He's from Virginia Beach. I was thinking of somebody else. My apologies. Transfer from Norfolk State in the MEAC, so he's seen both of the premier HBCU athletic conferences in his career. He hits this one high in the air to right field and deep. Highland Hall goes back, and all he can do is watch it go. That is the dagger. Ty Hanchy, a solo shot down the right field line that just snuck in inside the corner by the foul pole, and it is 8-3 Florida A&M.
The fastball taken quickly the other way. We talked with Coach Hernandez all week. He's been so cool and collected, and we're just happy to be here, happy to make it this far. We're playing with house money. This one's going to hurt.
I think we're going to see Yohan Gonzalez here as Coach Jonathan Hernandez walks out to the mound. But remember back in the pregame show where I interviewed Colton Olison I talked to him about being the captain of this team, and his reply that it's really up to them to look to him as a leader. He was the first one to go to the mound and just try and console Pablo Torres, put his arm on his back, say it's okay. We are going to see Yoan Gonzalez here. He throws one more bullpen pitch and then turns and walks onto the field.
From here, this will likely be Gonzalez's game to finish. The Wildcats kind of out of arms to turn to, at least arms that should be really confident in to keep this thing where it's at. Kind of the same thing we've said all week. It's going to have to be the bats. It's going to have to be the Cardiac Cats if they want any sniff at taking this crown home today.
Here is the SWAC relief pitcher of the year, Yoan Gonzalez. He is 5-2 in 20 appearances with no starts and 7 saves with a 3.72 ERA. He's allowed 21 runs on 44 hits, striking out 60 and walking 14. He's given up 2 homers, 2 triples, 10 doubles, and opponents are batting .249 against him. And more so in this game than we have seen all week, Bryce. We saw that short porch out in right field really come into play, as we saw, of course, Sufrain hit one out there. Now Hanchy hit one out there, Weber hit one out there, and Greco as well.
Yeah, we thought we'd see the Wildcats really attack that one all week with bats like Sufrain, with bats like Moya and Highland Hall. Boris Pena as well. It's just hasn't really, I mean, the Wildcats have been a power team all year. They've always been a team that's kind of gone to the double or to the long rally single by single, walk by walk. When you have a team like FAMU that can really get a hold of the ball, really get it out there, we saw just a devastating blow right there. Even though it only goes down as 1 run, that morale, that momentum, that kind of taste for that championship, for that final score, it's all on FAMU's side right now.
Advertise with us here on the Cat Eye Network. BCU Athletics is offering sponsorship opportunities across the Cat Eye Network. Come partner with the best of Wildcat Nation. For more information, you can reach out to the Bethune-Cookman Athletic Communications Department at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. That's bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. We are looking for partnerships for next season and beyond. Football season will be here before you know it. The summer will fly by. We'll all be wondering, where did our summer vacation go?
Yeah, for those of us who work on staff here, it's not long enough. As exciting as this week has been.
First batter to face Yoan Gonzalez is Jared Weber. Gonzalez's first pitch is a fastball strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Gonzalez quickly into his second pitch and pulls it way away from Escobar behind the plate. It skips to the backstop. It's 1-1. The scoreboard shows 2-0. I believe that it's 1-1. It's 1-1 on the live stats. Gonzalez looking for that call on the outside corner again with the fastball. Doesn't get it. Now it's 2-1. Breaking ball, strike 2 from Gonzalez. This is not a situation that Pokey, as he's known, has really found himself in this year. He's been the guy that's been given the lead, a chance to save it late. 6 inning saves has been his forte all season. He's not the kind of guy you bring in when you're down by 5, just kind of shut it down, ride it out. He's behind in the count 3-2 here to Weber, the pitch. Swing and a miss, got him with a slider, and that's the inning. So the Wildcats get 3 strikeouts in the inning, 2 from Torres, 1 comes Gonzalez, but the 1 run on the home run by Hanchy increases the lead. 8-3, FAMU. 6 outs left for the Wildcats to find something in this game. Hunter Viets back on the mound when we come back. This is BCU Athletics on the Cat Eye Network. Top of the order for Bethune-Cookman here in the 8th inning. 6 outs left, down by 5. In a game where the Wildcats have 9 hits, but they've scattered them across these 7 innings. And 3 double plays have taken the wind out of the sails of this BCU offense. Here is Garrett Shun to lead it off against Hunter Viets, who throws the first pitch down the middle for a strike, pitch 108 for Viets. Quickly into his windup. Gets another call on the outside corner and low, 0-2.
He's got to be at the end of the tank today, but he's just attacking the strike zone, and the Wildcats just haven't been able to commit to anything.
Outside, just missed it with a fastball to the lefty Chun. We were looking in between innings because I didn't remember us having any fly ball or line drive outs today. We don't. Pitch. In the air, there's the first one. Going back, Weber makes the catch. That is the first fly ball out of the game for Bethune-Cookman. Before that, it's all been ground balls, double plays, and strikeouts.
Ryan Hall's a guy who's had a really rough afternoon. This is the part of the order, kind of your last gasps here.
Did reach on a fielder's choice and score in the 3rd, but grounded into a double play in the 1st and grounded out in the 5th. And that ground out in the 5th was with Luis throwing 30, pops a bunt straight up in the air, and that is indicative of how the Wildcats' afternoon has gone. He was trying to squeeze a bunt single out because he's so fast, but it pops straight up in the air, and it's caught by Hanchey.
Just kind of begging for a chance to get some kind of rally going, give the Wildcats some kind of life on the base pass, and that ball does the exact opposite.
Here's Boris Pena. If the Wildcats go 1-2-3 here, I think we see Viets again in the 9th. He's going to have one of those 120, 130 to pitch games, and he's going to walk over, Boris Pena is, and talk to hitting coach Jose Carballo. We have not seen this confrontation or communication between third base / hitting coach and batter today. We saw the Wildcats do it a lot when they were in those big rallies against Grambling and Southern the last couple of days.
Yeah, Colton Olson's been a guy who a lot of times is the one to kind of initiate those conversations with Coach Carballo. This time Boris Pena probably pleading, you know, what's the plan here? How do we do this thing?
Well, nothing that the Wildcats have tried has worked so far. He stands in with 2 quick outs already in the 8th inning, and the Wildcats down by 5. First pitch from Viets in the dirt, ball 1. And Hunter has been a tad wild sometimes, but has mostly kept his command and forced a lot of soft contact, and his infield has made the plays. Only 1 error in the game. Fastball strike inside corner, 1-1.
Like you said, Mike, Viets has just never had any sustained struggles. It's all been capped off pretty quickly.
Fastball inside corner, missed it, 2-1. That 1 error was Viets trying to get a pick off at first, and the ball went to the backstop. It wasn't even a ball in play error. Ground ball, left-hand side. Finally a base hit for the Wildcats, their first since the 6th. Pena aboard with 2 outs.
It's Pena's 3rd hit of the game. He's one of the couple of guys that's had success against Viets today. You see kind of once Viets gets in that flow and just works with that pace, pitch to pitch, it's hard to come up with an answer, but Boris Pena trying to give the Wildcats any signs of life.
Here's Robert Moya, grounded into a double play in the 2nd, singled in the 3rd, struck out in the 6th. As Hunter Viets looking for a complete game in the SWAC championship, hit in the air to left, going back, track, wall, adios amigos! How did that one get out? First pitch swinging from Robert Moya.
That ball was a rocket. That ball got out of here in a heartbeat.
I thought that was like a line drive single off the bat, and it just kept going.
Well, a frozen rope. Let's see if it's enough to give the Wildcats some kind of hope here, some kind of life. Viets is vulnerable after all. No move to the bullpen with the bases empty now, but another base runner would likely chase him.
Now it's a 3-run game, and here's Manny Sufrain, who's already homered off of Viets. Did it solo style in the 2nd. After that, he struck out in the 3rd and singled in the 6th and was caught in the middle of a double play. Pitch. Fastball strike at the knees, 0-1.
Not much Frank can offer out there. That ball's well inside.
There's a perfect pitch on the corner. Here's another one. Fastball misses outside. As Veets reared back and just put everything he had into that. We kept saying all game long, Bryce, as here's the 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. That Veets is at the end of his rope. He's at the end of his rope, but he has gutted this out in a tremendous performance so far. And he has given his Rattlers a chance to win their first ever SWAC title. Although this one goes high, it's 3-1.
No matter how this one ends for Veets, he's just been so mentally tough. This is the kind of situation we've seen him just settle in, get a ground ball, get a strikeout, and move on.
3-1, ball 4. 3 straight base runners for BCU with 2 down.
Robert Moya's down there in the dugout screaming to his guys. There's some life.
Here's, Colton Olson's just retrieving the bat. I'm like, Colton Olson's not up. It's Irvin Escobar. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Walked in the second, grounded out to short in the fourth, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the sixth. Irvin has been so good in this tournament. I told you a .543 average, 7 RBIs, but today it's just not been his day. First pitch, a strike at the letters, 0-1.
A much wider, much bigger strike zone all around from the home plate official now than we have seen earlier in this game.
Off the plate in the opposite batter's box from the right-handed hitting Escobar, 1-1. Still no move to the bullpen for FAMU. I think this is Veets' game to finish, or at least the inning to finish. Pitch, upstairs, ball 2. FAMU faithful wanted that to be strike 2. It was a similar
I would say
spot.
the first pitch was about the same spot. Maybe that one was even further out over the plate.
2-1. Escobar swings and hits it foul to the right-hand side, out of play. This game has not been very long. It's probably going to be our shortest of the tournament. Only 2 hours, 34 minutes into this one. The 2-2. Hit in the air. A diving stop by Greco. He can't get the ball. Brown pushed the ball away from him. And Escobar is safe and the inning continues. How did that happen?
Well, we saw when Will Brown tried to make that play there, the ball kind of started to drop right in front of his glove. He made a diving attempt at it, but it just hit off the front lip of his glove. And like you said, Mike pushed it away from him, had to run to try to catch it, try to track it down. The first baseman had no choice but to stay there and try to wait on it, and Irvin Escobar beats it out.
4 straight base runners for BCU, and that is the end of Veets. With 2 down here in the 8th. The Wildcats have made it back to a 3-run game where it was before the 7th inning. Still lots of work to be done, but we mentioned Veets may be gone and the bullpen is vulnerable, but Veets is going to get a standing ovation from both sets of fans, as he rightly deserves it. A mammoth performance from him today.
Just gutsy all around. We saw it even there as he tried to kind of battle through after the home run. That was kind of his MO all day. Just anything that came up. A base hit to start an inning, a little bit of a mini rally. We saw Luis Tuero sneak down to third earlier in this game, and he just settled in. He worked a lot of critical double plays, kept the ball on the ground all day, which is something the Wildcats just aren't used to having to deal with in this tournament. He just made it so tough to have any kind of sustained success.
The pitcher will be the best arm that FAMU has outside of Veets. The senior from Tallahassee and Childs High School, Zach Murray. Murray is 4-3 in 39 appearances with no starts. He's got a .662 ERA, third best on the team. In 68 innings pitched, he's given up 50 runs on 88 hits, all earned, striking out 50 and walking 36. He's given up 6 homers, 3 triples, 13 doubles, and opponents are batting .326 against him. And it's going to be tough for the Wildcats because the arm angle completely changes. He's a side armor, he's a righty.
We've certainly seen early in this tournament the Wildcats have come up against a couple of non-traditional relievers with that kind of sidearm. But the problem with those relievers is they'd often come in and immediately started walking guys. So they've given the Wildcats a chance to really not have to do a whole lot outside of taking advantage of all those pitches that are grooved down the middle.
You're not going to get that from Murray. He is a very solid reliever. And Colton Olison is going to have to be the man to extend the inning. Soufrain on second, Escobar on first. Olison struck out in the second, grounded to short, both in the fourth and sixth. Wildcats down by 3, 2 outs in the eighth. First pitch from Zach Murray. And he winds and fires a sidearmer right down the middle for strike one. I don't mind Olison taking that one. Just see what he's going to give you. Colton, the senior captain of this team, how big would a hit be right here? The 0-1. Breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Tracking it is Jackson. He's back near the track. He makes the catch. We go to the ninth. The Wildcats have made a game of it. But it's still a 3-run deficit going to the final frame. FAMU will try to increase their lead when we come back. This is BCU Baseball on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. Yohan Gonzalez back out to pitch the ninth for BCU. The Wildcats are down by 3, and they'll want to keep it that way going to the bottom of the inning. The Wildcats have actually out-hit the Rattlers today, 12-11, but it's just those clutch home runs that have pushed the Rattlers over the top. Here is Sebastian Greco, who had the back-breaking home run off Gaviria in the 7th to left field. First pitch, a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Outside 1-1 now from Yohan Gonzalez. It will be 9-1-2 in the bottom of the ninth for the Wildcats. Well, likely against Zach Murray, pitching the dirt 2-1. And this will be the last ride, potentially, for Gerald Best, Luis Liptrat, Alec Mendez, Brian Perez, Malik Stevens, and Darius York, who we honored on Senior Day a week and a day ago. This one's hammered out to center. Chun tracking it back. It's off the wall. Racing towards second is Greco. He's in there with a stand-up double.
FAMU's just been all over fastballs today. Seems like they've hammered just about every single one the other way. It's been the breaking ball for a lot of these Wildcats that have been giving them some of their success.
We immediately see Dale Michaud go out to the bullpen. Here's Jan-Mikel Bastardo. Singled in the first, singled in the third, flied out to left in the 5th, walked in the 7th. 2 for 3 with a walk on the day for Bastardo. with a runner on second and nobody out. Pitch in the outside batter's box, but there was a check swing. The starter did not go.
You mentioned kind of the seniors we honored last weekend, Mike. There'll be a handful of other Wildcats we'll likely see move on from the game in this offseason.
Nice slider, gets the swing and miss from Bastardo.
Guys like Colton Olison, Boris Pena, some others still may have some eligibility, but now that their schooling is done, may elect to move on.
Another slider tipped into the glove, 1-2. Slider's been Gonzalez's best pitch.
Breaking stuff has had FAMU a little frazzled all day, but taking advantage when it counted.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and a garbage pitch way outside, and Bastardo knows it. He kind of almost looked like he wanted to slam his helmet down as he left the box. Keeps a hold of it and walks back to the dugout, 1 down.
Number 2, Joseph Pierini.
Third strikeout already for Yohan Gonzalez.
It's been the best he's looked this week.
Here's Pierini, who has struck out 3 times and walked. First pitch to him, hammered towards short. Olison can't get there. That's going to be another run. Rounding third is Greco. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. They go to second to try and get Pierini. He's safe. It's an RBI double for Pierini, and the lead is back to 4.
And the crowd and the FAMU dugout, they can feel it. Coach Hernandez is going to come out and check with the home plate official. I'm not sure.
We don't have a challenge left since we lost the one in the 4th inning so spectacularly, where it was changed from out to obstruction and a free base.
We are going to some sort of review. I'm not sure.
Well, we might not get a full review. Hernandez may have just talked the umpires into talking about it.
They gave the headset signal. We'll see if they do go to it, but the home plate official did. There we go. He officially gives the review sign.
So I'm guessing that what they're looking at is Pierini out at second, and in real time it looked like he was safe.
It certainly did by a lot, but we'll see. Pull up the replay here in a moment.
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the latest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Make sure you are representing BCU to the fullest. Buy the latest gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com, then click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. And Bryce, as we get down to the end of this game, no matter how it finishes, I want to get kind of your wholesale thoughts on the week as a whole, outside of the baseball, the experience of being here and following the Wildcats through this, the ups and downs of this magical lower bracket run, and what's kind of been your experience this week?
Oh, it's been outstanding. I mean, obviously the facilities here have been great for us, both on the broadcast and everywhere else. It's been, I mean, what can you say else about the games? Have made it fun in itself, just following a team with such great energy, obviously such a great coaching staff to work with Jonathan Hernandez and Jose Carballo and Joel Sanchez, Antoine Brown. The guys just make doing what we do so much fun, so much easier than it could be at a lot of other places. It's really been great. It's really been a blast. It's tough that it has to end this way. I mean, I know we've said in the last couple of games coming out, it's playing with house money. We're kind of establishing ourselves, if nothing else. It always hurts to kind of fall in that championship game, but there's going to be so many great takeaways for us, for these kids on these rosters, for the coaching staff, for this program, the university. It's going to take a little bit to heal from this one if it ends the way we think it might. But I think overall it's been a really great positive experience for us, for everybody.
The SWAC championship will be back here for the next 2 years. They have a contract through 2025. He is well safe, as I just looked at the replay.
I think they're looking at it whether or not he slid off the bag after the fact. It looks like he may have.
Now, there was so much talk coming into the week about Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M, and oh, they're not SWAC, right? They're not the Blue Bloods. They ain't going to beat the Southerns, the Alabama States, the Gramblings. And guess what? The newbies to the SWAC have come and proved them wrong. There's no Blue Bloods left, only green and orange and maroon and gold left standing on Sunday.
Yeah, and for a lot of those same voices that we heard that from, that'll likely stay consistent for a while, still only going on our 3rd year in the league next year. But it's all building blocks to becoming a part of kind of what's been built here over so much time, and what FAMU and BCU continue to bring to the table, new faces, new programs, and some really great baseball this week, if nothing else.
Oh, and all season long. I've had a blast covering this team through the ups and downs, the midweek batterings, the conference heartbreakers, the great series wins. Of course, the highlight of the regular season, probably the Robert Moya walk-off home run against Jackson State towards the end of the season. We thought that the Wildcats would come in with a lot of momentum. They didn't show it in game one. Here come the umpires. I'm thinking Perini is going to be safe. And he's out. The first time a review has gone the Wildcats' way this week. So Pierini, I think we'll give him a single, and he's out going to second.
Yeah, he slid over the bag, so there was a point in the play there where the front hand came off and the back foot hadn't yet reached the bag. That's why he's called out.
But it's still an RBI. The run counts 9-5 FAMU, and Will Brown will bat with 2 down here in the top of the 9th. Breaking ball, strike inside corner 0-1. And I wanted to talk about the coaching staff. You mentioned them a little bit. Last night, here's a pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball away. 0-2. Last night, when we were getting our interviews for the pregame show and working on some notes, just to wrap up everything here before the game, Coach Jonathan Hernandez, fastball outside, 1-2, sat with the two of us down in the hotel lobby and talked for over an hour, just about whatever, about baseball, about life, about his career, what he wants it to be. Fastball outside, 2-2. What he thinks the Wildcats program would be, how he thinks we fit into the SWAC, and a whole host of other things we probably can't talk about on air. But just to have that kind of connection, big cut and miss, and down swinging goes Will Brown to end the frame. 1 run, 2 hits, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Wildcats down to their final 3 outs, needing 4 runs to stay in it. This is BCU Baseball on the Cat Eye Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs left in the season for the Wildcats. They need 4 runs to extend this game. They're down 9-5 in the SWAC title game. They face Zach Murray on the mound for FAMU, who's looking to close this out and give the Rattlers their first ever SWAC baseball title. First pitch is a strike low to Jeremy Garcia. It's 9-1-2. Garcia, Tuero, Chun here in the 9th for the Wildcats, unless Coach Hernandez wants to get fancy and throw some pinch hitters in there. 0-1. Garcia, chopper towards second. Brown fields. This time he fires it across cleanly. 1 away.
Will Brown has just been an absolute machine out there at second base today. Gobbled up everything over there. He's made a lot of these really tough picks, really tough plays. Made it look easy. He's killed the Wildcats out there.
And it's all been the FAMU defense. Everything has been routine. They've made no live ball errors, only 1 dead ball error in the game for the Rattlers. Here's Luis Tuero, 1 for 4 on the night First pitch strike at the knees. The one hit he had was in the 5th. He grounded out all 3 other times. Ball low, 1-1. There is somebody warming in the Rattler bullpen, although we probably will not see him. 1-1 from Murray. Left side, poked through for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Luis Tuero. 1 on, 1 out for the Wildcats.
Well, that's a start. Top of your order due up. All you can do is keep punching through singles. Play the game that's gotten you here. It hasn't been the long ball. It's been short rallies like this one.
Here's Garrett Chun, singled and was caught in a double play in the 1st. Singled, was caught in the double play in the 3rd. Grounded out to first unassisted in the 5th. Flied out to left in the 8th. First pitch from Murray. Strike on a changeup at the knees. That low part of the zone has been huge for both pitching staffs today. It's kind of why we've had so many ground ball outs. In on the hands, ground ball past the diving glove of Greco and into right field. Tuero's going to try and go to 3rd. He will get there standing up. And the Wildcats have runners on the corners now after 2 base hits with 1 out in the 9th.
Well, we said it over the break, Mike. It doesn't feel like any 9th inning for anyone has been easy in this tournament. Whether or not the Wildcats can score or make this close is one thing, but they're at the very least being competitive, putting runners on, seeing Murray all right now. The big bats due up. Highland Hall's a guy who's really hurt the Wildcats today at the plate, just struggled. This is his chance to put it all behind him and keep things moving.
And Jose Carballo is going to come out and talk to Highland Hall along with Coach Hernandez. No, Coach Hernandez walks back in the dugout. We've seen him once this tournament come out and join in that offense conversation, but I think it's important for Highland Hall just to put a charge in it somewhere. He grounded into a double play to end the 1st inning, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 3rd, but grounded out to 3rd in the 5th with Tuero on 3rd, and he was unable to come home because the ball was hit right at the 3rd baseman. If that goes anywhere else, the Wildcats get a run there. And then, of course, he popped out on a bunt in the 8th. Somebody trying to start the Hail Wildcats chant down to our left. Highland Hall now stands in to face Murray. 1 out in the 9th. Wildcats down by 4 with runners at the corners. The first pitch from the side-arming lefty is off-line outside, 1-0.
Murray doesn't have a ton of velocity, that off speed, if it finds the wrong spot of the plate. Highland Hall's a guy who can put a charge into it.
1-0. Fastball missed his spot again in the opposite batter's box. 2-0. Luis Tuero on 3rd is not a guy really known for his speed, so unless the ball really kicks away from the catcher, he's not coming home. 2-0. Down the middle, 2-1.
Patience we haven't seen from Hall all day there. It's the kind of ball he's been swinging at, especially when he's gotten 2 early balls in his favor, but you don't want to be too aggressive here.
Here's the pitch. Hall really swung and missed. He swung hard at a changeup outside and whiffed on it. 2-2.
And now Murray just has so much flexibility with what he can throw here after the big swing and miss. Hall's going to be guessing.
2-2. Murray winds and fires. It's just touched off the end of the bat foul. The ball was arcing towards the opposite batter's box on a slider.
And Hall knows what kind of spot he's in right here. The difference between him getting on base and going down via the strikeout is huge.
Murray stares in. Once again, the 2-2. Outside, 3-2. The FAMU crowd wanted strike 3, but that was a little too far off the plate. Full count.
Yeah, the breaking ball slides a little bit too far. Murray's gonna have to hit the zone here. Highland Hall could look to send this one the other way.
The 3-2 pitch. Hall, chopper to second. This could be the end of the game, but it's bobbled by Brown. He goes to first. He gets the out. Tuero scores. The Wildcats have 1 back, but they are down to their final outs.
The message here has to stay the same. No big swings. You're not there yet. You're not in range. Tyler Hall there grounds into another ground out today, just not his same self at the plate for the newcomer of the year.
Here's Boris Pena with Garrett Chun at second and 2 outs. The Rattlers 1 out away from their first ever SWAC title. The Wildcats need 3 more runs. First pitch from Murray. In on the hand, strike 1. Pena in the game, 3 base hits and a run scored and a strikeout. He's been the most successful offensive player the Wildcats have today. Murray deals, breaking ball fouled away, and the Rattlers are 1 strike away. The crowd here at Russ Chandler Stadium at McNeese Baseball Park rises to their feet. The green and orange jerseys in the right field dugout ready to explode onto the field. Murray raises the glove above his head and deals. Fouled away, the game continues. The count's still 0-2.
Boris Pena was so clutch last season in Birmingham for this tournament. Got any clutch left in him for this one?
Once again, 1 strike away, the 0-2. Hit in the air to right field, not deep. Moving back is Bastardo. He makes the catch. The Florida A&M Rattlers are 2023 Southwestern Athletic Conference champions. They win their first ever SWAC baseball title, and the magical run for the Wildcats falls just short.
What a week, Mike. We've seen just about every side of baseball you can see. The Wildcats' magic just comes up a little bit short, whether it's fatigue, whether it's the luck running out a little bit on a play here or there. They're gonna hang their heads after this one. It's a heartbreaker, but after the week we've seen, there's plenty to keep those heads up. I know Coach Hernandez is gonna kind of preach that same thing. This was a spot that we know the conference didn't expect to see us. We know a lot of fans, especially after game 1, maybe didn't expect the Wildcats to get this far. Maybe the team itself didn't expect them to get this far. Playing with house money is all great until your heart gets ripped out like that. But the Wildcats, what more can you say? Everybody had their moment. It was a heck of a run.
From losing 4-2, just kind of blown away by Southern with no offense, to scoring 45 runs in 4 games. The Wildcats' magical run, staving off elimination in 5 straight games. They get to the finals, and again, they just run out of gas against a FAMU team that basically did the same thing on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, and Hunter Veets was the difference today, Mike. Nolan Santos, a valiant effort from him, gave the Wildcats everything he had. He kind of settled in later in the game, but Veets really willed this team today to this win, to this title.
Here are your final line scores for the final game of the season for Bethune-Cookman. They end the year 33-27, 30-plus wins on the season. I know it hurts right now, but we're going to look back at this season and consider it a success. Here's your final line score for the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. 6 runs on 14 hits. They out-hit FAMU today. 1 error, left 7 on base. For the Rattlers, 9 runs on 13 hits. 1 error, left 7 on base. And really, you can put this game down as Coach Jamie Shoup for Florida A&M gets a Gatorade bath. You can put this game down maybe to the decision to bring Gaviria in. He gave up the home run to put the Rattlers up where they couldn't be caught. The Wildcats fought back valiantly, 3 runs over the final 2 innings. If they don't score those 2 runs, we have a tie game in the 9th. So, you can all go with 6-1, half a dozen or the other. We will never know. The winning pitcher today is Hunter Veets. He improves his record on the season to 7-1. He went 7 2/3 innings to 127 pitches, gave up 12 hits, walked 2, struck out 5. The loss goes to Nolan Santos, and Santos, a junior, has eligibility left. We don't know if he will return to BCU. We don't know if he'll transfer. We don't know if he'll try to go pro. but this is a tough way to end what has been a remarkable season where he finished number 2 in the nation in total strikeouts, only behind Paul Skeens of LSU, who had one of the best seasons college baseball has ever seen. He goes 6 innings, throws 113 pitches, gives up 8 hits, 4 runs all earned, strikes out 7. He ends his season with a record of 7-5. Zach Murray came in to get the save. In an inning and a third, he allowed 1 run on 2 hits, didn't get a walk, didn't get a strikeout. It did not matter. Once again, your final score from McNeese Baseball Park at Russ Chandler Stadium as the teams line up behind home plate to do the hockey-style handshake line. Everybody gonna get a fist bump, gonna get a hug, gonna get a handshake. The Wildcats still beat the Rattlers overall in the season 6-5, but unfortunately, the Rattlers got the best of us in the one that really mattered.
Yeah, Mike, it's you know, we've harped on it a little bit. It's just been such an incredible run all season long. This, at the end of the year, you made it further than you did last year. You improved winning-wise. You brought in a caliber of player that the program didn't have a season before. For Coach Hernandez, it's reset and reload for next year. There's going to be a lot of pieces that we see remain on this team, a lot of big guys that'll hang around. We'll see some depart, but I know for a fact the way that Hernandez just continues to get on that recruiting trail, especially when you talk about the junior college ranks and everything else, he is a guy that is going to put his team in a spot to do this again next year, if not do better. He's got long-term vision for this program. He loves this program. We love this program. We only know it's up from here.
Before we say goodbye to you for the final time this season, there are some people that we need to thank. First off, Deputy AD George Bright and Associate Eric Dennis, who green-lighted the broadcast of this tournament. They're the reason I'm here. They believed in the vision that we have for the Cat Eye Network and what it could be going forward. To Gino Black, Executive Director of the Cat Eye Network and Photoshop and photography extraordinaire, his upbeat attitude, and he's just been fun to be around all week. He's been great to have around, and we will work with him more in the future. Larry Steele at WELE 1380 back in Daytona Beach. Thank you to you for being our producer behind the scenes, getting us on the air all week long. Local radio is so important to sports. It's so important to have a home base and a home fan base that can tune in while they're just driving around, while they're around town, and tune into how their team is doing, and it is an honor and a privilege to be the voice of the Wildcats. Finally, to the hardest working media crew in the SWAC, Brian Harvey, and of course, my broadcast partner, Bryce Hoynoski. Bryce, you've been with me for most of the games this year that we have done. Your final thoughts on the season before we wrap it up.
It's been a ride. It's my second season here with the program, and the first season was just as fun. It sucks to see it end this way. I mean, I've said it a bunch. We really didn't think that this is where the season would end, especially after that first game this week, where there's so many great kids on this roster. This coaching staff is one of the best to work with in the country. As a lot of our coaching staffs here at BCU, we're so lucky that they make our job fun to do. They make our job so much easier than it could be. We're all going to take a moment. We're going to take a breather. We're going to take a summer. We're going to enjoy the couple of weeks that we have off before we get right back into the grind of it for the fall. We always want to keep building everything, keep improving what we've got here. This program, this athletic department's on the up and up. It's only going to get better from here, and we're excited for everyone who's stuck with us today, this season. We're ready for the ride to continue next year.
One final thank you before I leave off. It is a personal one, if you will allow me a minute. Either yesterday or 2 days ago was the anniversary of the passing of one of my good friends, Matt Wilson. He is one of the reasons I got into broadcasting. He's one of the reasons I've stayed in it so long. And he unfortunately passed away before he could get to see me be here and succeed. And I know he was looking down on me this week, so thank you for that. But thank you to all of our fans everywhere, all of you who have tuned in to the Cat Eye Network today, this week, and all season, be it for volleyball, basketball, softball, baseball, and for football at the Classic. Wherever you are listening from, wherever you are a Wildcat fan or supporter of, thank you from the bottom of our hearts here at the Cat Eye Network. We will see you in the fall for Wildcat football, just 98 days away. Once again, the Florida A&M Rattlers defeat the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 9-6 to win their first ever Southwestern Athletic Conference Baseball Championship. So long from McNeese Baseball Park and Russ Chandler Stadium from Midtown Atlanta. For Bryce Wojnowski, my name is Michael Turillo. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.